stage with a 3-1 victory over the Shanghai Dragons. And we're going to see them again on Sunday. When they're playing in the title match, their spot is all locked up. Moving on to our final match of the night. I know you guys are ready for this one. We have the London Spitfire going against the Seoul Dynasty. Now, coming into the Overwatch League, this is one of the most talked about matchups. But to be honest with you guys, their matches have been a bit lopsided. The Seoul Dynasty have not taken a single map off of the London Spitfire since they played against each other. But the London Spitfire have been a mere shadow of their former selves. You know, that team that won the Stage 1 title matches. So if the Seoul Dynasty are going to take a match or a map or anything, I would imagine it would be today. So Blizzard Arena, make noise one last time. It is our final match of the night. And let's go ahead and get into the action with Golden Boy at your desk. Take it away, man.
That's right, Malik. It is the final matchup of the evening, and it's going to be a good one to close it out. I'm Golden Boy alongside with Bren in Sideshow. And here's the interesting part about this, right? Coming into the Overwatch League, Seoul Dynasty and London Spitfire, they were basically the two teams that everyone was proclaiming will be the potential champions of this whole thing, of Season 1 of the Overwatch League. And here we are now in this squad. Both of these teams are slipping in Stage 3.
They really are. I think there is an element of saving themselves for the overall playoffs, but there are real key issues that they both need to fix as well. So London have had their little bit of a slump, but in the overall standings, you can see that they're still in 3rd and 4th. So although they're slipping slightly, they're still well in that overall playoff hunt.
Yeah, they're looking pretty good right now. And I mean, we made mention both of these teams have fallen from grace. This is what makes it so surprising, right? Because you've got the champions of Apex, and then of course, I mean, I guess you could say GC Busan also not quite champions of Apex, but they're up there, aren't they?
They were
champions of Apex.
Yeah,
Apologies for that. Yes.
But also the champions of Stage 1.
But also the champions of Stage 1, London Spitfire. And this is what's crazy about it, is that both these teams have fallen. They are slipping, despite the fact that these guys are veterans. Everyone was expecting them to go very far. And now it's really the question mark is, are they saving themselves, or are they just generally having these issues because, you know, the league is going on for quite some time, you know? There's a variety of questions that we need to be asking.
Yeah, not only do you have to worry about the opponent that you're going up against, but you also have to worry about going up against the schedule, because it's a very long and grueling season. As we looked at the overall standing just a little while ago, they're still 3rd and 4th, so they're still very much in that playoff hunt. And this matchup still has some implications moving forward into Stage 4 and, of course, going into the playoffs. But let's talk about the issues. We mentioned the issues and what's been going wrong for these teams going into Stage 3.
For Seoul, I think the biggest thing that I've been able to identify, there's obviously, with any team that struggles, there's a number of key things. But the biggest single thing that I can see with the Seoul Dynasty is how they're using their main tank and their diva. And specifically Miro's play. I feel like when I'm watching him, he's stuck in the archives of 2016, 2017, when he was undoubtedly the best Winston in the world. But I keep seeing him using his cooldowns at times where it doesn't make sense. He doesn't have backup for the rest of his team. He's either easily punished or he just uses his cooldown and then can't use it to go back and protect his supports. So he's not like these other Winstons where they dive in aggressively or have great synergy with their Tracer. He seems indecisive, and this has been a word that people have been applying to the Seoul Dynasty recently a lot, is that they just don't seem to grasp opportunities. They just mill around and they don't have a set plan. So this is something they really need to fix going forwards.
Yeah, what about London?
On the London side, I mean, they seem to be facing issues in terms of who they're going to be fielding in terms of the DPS players. So, I mean, Birdring, he will be playing today as far as I'm aware. And it's a case of, you know, how they're going to be introducing him into this roster. He has been having wrist injuries recently, so they may just be slowly reintroducing him into the games. But London were a very scary team back in Stage 1, and they have started been slipping more recently. And I wonder if it's a case of whether or not, there's so many variables that come into a team like this, because you have to consider, one, that they're away from home. You know, they could be getting homesick, as you know.
They're so far away from London.
They are so far away from London, but also Korea. We're not going to go there, Josh. You tickle me, but not quite now. just enough of that. But yeah, there's so many different variables that you need to consider with this squad, and also the fact that the season is very long. These players, there is a risk of them getting burnt out. Now, I don't know. I'm just speculating here because I don't know the inner workings of the team. But we know that their potential is there. We know that they are champions. We know these guys can perform. So at the end of the day, if these two teams do play up to the highest level, we should have a fantastic game on our hands.
But the great thing is, if you look at the history of these two squads and how they faced up against each other previously, when they played in Apex, the massive championship that happened before the Overwatch League, GC Busan, which was the core of the London Spitfire, destroyed Lunatic High, the core of the Seoul Dynasty. And it was so unexpected. They came out of nowhere and they just got rampaged. Look at the look on Toby's face. They never won a map against the core of the London Spitfire.
Right?
In 2 games in Apex, they were swept. In stage 1, they didn't win a map. In stage 2, they didn't win a map. So far, the Seoul Dynasty, despite both being championship rosters at the top of their game at various points, they've never won a map of London. They're in their heads.
So what is the storyline here, Josh?
Game at this
Can
point.
Seoul win a map? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're asking?
Can they win a map?
Can they win a map?
Okay.
They should be fairly matched, but can they even win a map?
You know what, then? I think we're going to do some predictions.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and start with you, Brent. Do you think Seoul's going to win a map?
After all that, I mean, we've given out the stats, the statistics. We've talked about this squad when they've last faced up. And again, I got to go with London for this one. Despite that London have been slipping, they are looking still pretty hot to be winning this match against Seoul here today.
Do you think that they're in their heads? So
I think they're so deep in their heads, actually, yeah. I think the London Spitfire have got a great read on the Seoul Dynasty. They know how they like to play, they know their strengths, and we've seen throughout previous tournaments and in the Overwatch League, they've got a great read on them. So although previously that was when London were at their peaks, even now where they look to be slipping a little bit and having close games, I'm still going to go with the London Spitfire here. I don't think it'll be a clean sweep. I think this is where the Seoul Dynasty finally take a map of them, start getting that fresh start in the rivalry. But London do look like the better team and have that amazing mental game.
all right, well, now it's time to bring out... Oh, look at that. That's awesome. Hey, shout out to you. So now, and she's actually been right there. There you go. I don't know what this is. I'm doing something. I don't know, man. But you look at these guns, though, man. Right? I've been putting in that work, baby. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, let's go ahead and bring out some people who just trying to straight up flex on some fools. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, the London Spitfire. That was actually one of the best transitions I've ever had in my career.
I agree.
And it still wasn't that good.
And it
I
still
love
wasn't
your
that
gun.
good. There's room for improvement, people. Okay, here comes the London Spitfire, though. This team, I mean, again, they're stage 1 champions, but they're 3-5 in stage 3, man.
So one thing that I'm excited to see here today for London is that they are running Fury. Now, I actually still to this day rate Fury as the best diva in the league. Now, that's a controversial opinion because when I speak to people, you know, Meko is obviously incredible. They've got wonderful performances coming out from Zumba every now and then as well. It's a very hotly contested position, not to mention Note as well on the Boston Uprising.
Yeah.
But I do believe Fury, in terms of his cooldown management, his game sense awareness, is the best diva in the league. Now, whether he decides to prove me wrong today or not, I'm not too sure, but it's a point that I am willing to stand by, given that whenever I watch him, it is just a treat.
I think the strengths of the London Spitfire are in their DPS players. Profit particularly always comes out with star-level performances. We need to see that from Birdring today. We've got to start to find out, is his wrist healed? Is he in there mentally? Has he got what it takes to be able to live back up to his stage 1 performance, his Apex performance, and become the and reach the potential that this team has on paper? Also, I think Gesture's going to teach the main tank of Seoul Dynasty how to play the game again.
Potentially. I tell you, man, Birdring, how old is he? Like 19 or something like that?
Young guy.
That's a really young age to have wrist problems this early into your career, so it's going to be tough for London.
I don't think they're too serious, though.
Yeah,
No.
for sure. All right, well, now it's time to bring out their opponents. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead. Welcome to the stage, the Seoul Dynasty. Seoul Dynasty, team that was so confident that they went with the name Dynasty coming into this into the season 1 of the Overwatch League, but they've been struggling a little bit as of late.
Yeah, and I'm so confused actually as to this lineup. As I watch the players come out, there is no main tank for the team here. We were talking about Miro's struggles, but they're running with 3 support. I mean, if you want to call
struggled
Guido a
himself
support,
out of the lineup.
apparently. So they're running with Blair and Munchkin. I was going to talk about how good they are as a DPS duo, but they've got Zumba and presumably Guido going to be playing the main tank for them. This guy has, as far as I know, no experience on main tank. and has previously played DPS and support for them. So I have no idea what we're going to see here from the Seoul Dynasty. This is a crazy
What if
roster.
he's been like low-key, just in the
Low-key,
hyperbolic time chamber, you know what I mean?
Maybe.
Just grinding it out.
It could be, but this is
Blue Guido.
This is utterly ridiculous, though, because Guido, we know him from his Mercy in Overwatch League, at least, but now he's coming in. Presumably, he's going to be playing main tank. I don't know if Ryu Jae-hong's got that in his arsenal, but you never know with these guys. But Seoul now apparently bringing a bit of a shocking turnaround here. I am very curious. I just want to get straight into this game and see what this is about, because this is really a big question mark to me. And presumably, if they are fielding Guido, they have had success with him in scrims. So
Yeah,
we will see.
Who knows? Just keep that guy under the magnifying glass and see how that works out.
All right, well, I mean, you said it. You want to get right into the matchup, and I totally agree. So let's go ahead and send it over to your casters for this game. It's going to be Semler and Hexagrams.
I don't understand why Josh is so bloodthirsty today. Why does he want him to die a horrible, fiery death? You know, under the micro.
Yeah, I think it's under the microscope. Maybe they don't have those in Britain.
No, they,
Yeah, I don't know.
they just take pieces of glass. I know. What they're wondering about here is just they were so on point with their analysis in the desk there, that Josh segment, right? You know, Miro, the problem, right?
Yeah.
So Jae-hong is over here, and I would just go over to Jae-hong. I'm like, Jae-hong, you know, so do you agree with this? He starts laughing and talks to his team, Miro, Miro, and he's like, no comment. And then Miro doesn't even come out. It's like, what happened to Miro? Where is Miro?
AFK. AFK. So it's really interesting what they're going to run. Of course, Guido is kind of their jack of all trades. When they didn't have their full roster in the preseason, he came in and played whatever they needed him to play for that team. But I agree with Josh that this London team is probably deep in the heads of Seoul, Inception level deep. And also, these London guys, they don't really think Seoul's a good team. They just don't. They straight up do not respect them from their past in previous tournaments. So I don't think you're going to see anyone phone it in. Also, you know, similar records. So you want to go into the next stage with a better record in the team. And granted, they've slipped off the edge a little bit, but still, they're in 4th place in the overall standings. But now's the time to turn it around. And now you got to keep an eye on Birdring as well. You know, he's back in. Maybe his wrist's still bothering him.
Definitely still bothering him.
Yeah, it's interesting stuff from both squads here today, which is good because we're going to start off on Volskaya A, and I've let you know my feelings on this. Not a whole lot of interesting stuff comes out here.
Yes, this is the first time
Yeah, Jae-hong on
Jae-hong
Winston.
is on a Winston.
Okay, so
So
Gambler
there's your
is
answer.
Gambler's your mercy. Guido's going to play Zenyatta instead. Jae-hong on the Winston of all things. Look, Winstons have been main callers in the Overwatch League for a great deal, so perhaps that's why they're moving him on there, so that he can at least shot call a little bit better. So maybe that's why Jae-hong was kind of chuckling when you asked him about Miro, because looks like he took his job.
Yeah, there you go. That guy, that Miro guy, yeah. Well, similar, you know, we'll see about that. Well, I mean, we will see, because Jae-hong right now, he's kind of dancing the dance up there, just getting some scouting information, figuring out where these guys are at. I think it comes as no shock to anybody at this point, this deep into the stage, that we are going into Tracer Widow duels. And, well, it should come as no shock that Fleta wins it to start. 2 kills for Fleta.
2 kills is absolutely enormous. You're going to only be able to resurrect one of them. Fleta will grab a third. He gets rezzed up, and that is a whole lot of gold in the kill feed. A nice first fold for the Seoul Dynasty.
Here we go, and we're going to get it from Fleta's perspective as well. Kick it. Whoa! Yeah, buddy. All right. That is clean.
That's pretty nice. And he gave his life for it, but you know, the insta-res on him. He's going to go for a little bit more up top. Fleta has been so dominant. I mean, when you think back at stage 1, he was very easily the front runner for MVP. Maybe not so much lately, but yeah, he's still got it.
So we've been saying for a while, though, no?
Well, but now
Dynasty, I think-
Birdring's got to shake off the rust, though, too. I mean, that's a big issue. Hasn't been playing. I thought Hurek had been playing better, but they want to see where Birdring is before the stage ends. They're not going to have more playoff games. Tomorrow they have Shanghai.
I think we got to question, you know, London's management at this point. You know, life is a painful thing. So you're going to put Birdring in pain in a game against Fleta. How harsh can they be, Hank? How hard on their players
It does
do they
seem
have
like
to be?
cruel and unusual punishment.
Well, if he survives this, he is one tough son of a gun. Let's see if he does it, though. Because right now, Prophet, it is going to be him just whiffing a pulse bomb. Unfortunately, that's not really going to help things here for London. It does kind of cut the team up, but Zumba's able to get back over here with the rest of Seoul, and Fleta is currently getting batted around right now, punched in the face by Gesture.
A couple of nice kills there. Gesture's going to take off Fleta, and Guido going to force them into a Sophie's Choice situation of who do you res up? Well, the answer to that one is no one. His Fury puts an end to that. Seoul Dynasty looking to reset.
Yeah, they're looking to get out of dodge. 2 players now on the point. Birdring is out hunting for frags. And it is going to be a clean cap here for London Spitfire after what looked like a solid start for Seoul Dynasty.
You know, we were talking about this a little earlier, and I said, you know, I feel a little bad for Prophet because he doesn't really have his DPS duo. And then I realized, well, his DPS duo is Gesture. It's Prophet and Gesture, then 4 other guys. They go everywhere. It's me and my Shadow right there. That's how they play. They've done so well together. Now they're going to continue to push in. Going to have Transcendence and Self-Destruct here. Birdring has the sights up. Fleta has switched to a Genji, which is a good counter defensively.
Oh, buddy, Jaehong, man, he is under fire right now, but he is getting pocketed hard by Gambler. Eventually, he will get laid low by Birdring with a bullet to the face, but still managing to really disrupt things here for the London Spitfire, slowing him down. Birdring still trying to find his angle right now on Guido. Not quite going to find it. Does get a tasty headshot on Fleta, though.
Birdring's just trying to find his footing here. He's going to have a couple of shots. Still only 1 kill for him this half so far.
He's, you know, he's, like you said, shaking it off. Got to warm up that wrist a little bit, make sure that, you know, everything is moving properly. Headshots flicking effectively, efficiently.
They're going to pop Valkyrie to continue on into this push. They've lost Gesture. The self-destruct will shuttle them off of the point. And now Closer's backing off a little bit as well. It's 5v5, but there's some pressure in the backline they have to deal with.
They are going to have to give some ground here. Prophet backing out. And we do get the res up on Doshan, but it is still going to be a little bit before Gesture can get back into this. He's currently running back from spawn, only just now joining the fray. So
it's a classic battle, too, because Doshan should be having Transcendence up momentarily. I'd imagine he's going to pop it early on and responds to the blade. Not up yet, though.
Oh, buddy, there's a window here. Birdring gets eviscerated, but the trance comes online. Still 2 kills, very quick ones there for Seoul Dynasty. And most importantly, they take out Closer. But then Doshan trades out Gambler as well. Both of the Mercies are dead. No res for this fight.
Really cute play there by Prophet, though. He pulls them back, almost gets another tick on this point. Playing the objective, they will be escorted out. Prophet's still alive, though, and when he's alive, he's going to always be a problem for the point. Forces the fallback. Prophet will jump off the edge.
He was alive.
He was, yes, past tense.
And then he wasn't anymore. Well, Birdring is going to switch over to the McCree now, so we'll see how that pans out for him. Getting a bit tired of the Widow shenanigans, I guess.
It's the constant dance on B. Like, so you run a McCree, and then the other team's got to you run it because the other team has a Genji. You run a Widow, and the other team's running McCree. I mean, those have been the rotation of most of the secondary DPS. And of course, you're always going to run a Tracer. Munchkin's got Pulse Bomb ready.
Nice one, though. Good focus fire there. Jaehong with the help of Munchkin will find the one, and Closer gets a bit too big for his britches. For his britches, for his wings. I don't know, tries to go for the bold res and gets punished. Well, what does she have? She has like tights, but then a skirt, kind of skirt wavy thing going on, Mercy?
Sure. I just, how hard would you laugh if a human being said britches in like just everyday life?
In 2018, yeah, no, that would be a bit of a stretch. What's, I mean, I don't know. You listen to Josh and Bren, you know, it's just like trousers and shorts and pants, and it's just like, which is it?
Yeah. They may speak the Queen's English, but we speak, you know, American over here.
American. But the funny thing is that you spend enough time in Europe and it does become American. Oh, I'm speaking American right now. Wait, what? All right, let's get into it. It is going to be the fight coming in. Guido leading the way with the trance, allowing Seoul Dynasty to push in aggressively. The counter coming in hard. Jaehong kind of getting caught there. That's unfortunate for him. Forced to use his primal to stay alive.
They had 6 ultimates and chose to engage aggressively there. It's something you don't always see from Seoul. Generally thought of as a more reactionary team. And now Spitfire are going to be able to equalize some of these ultimates a little bit. Gesture thought they had a chance to go in. The rest of his team did not follow up that primal rage.
Buddy, glad I'm going to be able to get out of there, though. Yeah, it felt more like the desperation. Needs rage just to stay alive at this point. Fury not going to really find. Nope, he doesn't find any targets with that self-destruct. Had to wait a moment there. Zumba was kind of twitchy. But it will be Gambler just pocketing Fleta, making sure that he stays alive. Doshan does have the trance. Fleta would just love for him to use it, or he can die flat out, and that's pretty much going to end the fight. Although Birdring will hit the flash, or the headshot rather, on Fleta to shut him down.
It's not a clean enough entry. You can't continue to go in on Volskaya B with only 4 people, especially the low mobility composition that they're running with a McCree in the mix. I would like to keep an eye on Jaehong and Gesture's stats. Right now, they're very similar, and what a measuring stick to go up against. I mean, you're playing Winston for one of the first times in Overwatch League against someone who is regarded as, at the very least, a top 2 Winston in the Overwatch League.
Yes, it is going to be a bit of the fight. Just keeping an eye on things here. I mean, they are playing fairly far back now, Seoul Dynasty changing up the style. Not really going quite hard for that dive, allowing London Spitfire to walk their way onto the point and start poking around before taking the fight to him.
Well, Prophet's trying to get to the bridge and clear a path up there. They would actually like to get Bird Ring up and towards that angle as well. That's where the supports are always hanging out, but they kind of snip this out, and the supports are going to rotate far away. Got Bird Ring. I just really want someone to go for a platform Deadeye.
I was hoping that he would do it too. But unfortunately, we're not going to get that show just yet. I mean, if ever. I don't know. Someday, heck, someday. It can happen. We will have the pulse getting thrown in. Unfortunately, it will not find a kill for Prophet. Trance is out, though, so there's an opportunity here for London Spitfire to start making some progress.
The Brickmac Bunchkin Closer is very close to his Valkyrie, which could be a very good ultimate for them. I imagine he'll pop it very soon after he gets it. He's got it in his pocket now. There's also Deadeye available as a closeout. There's the Valkyrie.
Now that Valk is in. Fleta still hanging in here. Gesture trying to keep it alive on the point as the High Noon comes out here for Bird Ring. Zoning High Noon. Zumba not going to be able to hide for much longer. Will eventually get found, but the bubble coming in at the last second from Jaehong, and Jaehong is still alive in this fight. Going primal, needs to get that presence on the point though.
A super patient Deadeye there, and now it's just a matter of cleanup. Only Munchkin alive on the point. Guido's gonna come back out. No Transcendence for him, though, so he's gonna stay off of it. They had some bodies alive. I don't really blame them for not getting on the point there. I think they were trying to get their tanks on first. If Guido goes out there, he just dies. Munchkin maybe a little far away, trying to keep his life up, so... I mean, yes, it's technically a C9 because there were people alive that could have touched a point, but you know, there's degrees of C9ing.
There are, and there's also just degrees of denying stacks to your opponents, right? You know, you can't let them get an ace. I can't let them get the kills.
I don't think that is going on in their head.
Definitely what's going on, Hex. You know, you got to get that mental game, that one-upsmanship, right? You know, hey, maybe we're gonna lose the point, but you're not gonna kill me.
Yeah, I want to keep an eye on Gesture versus Jaehong here, and stats will change based on offenses or defenses. But let's go eliminations, final blows, deaths. Gesture at 15-6 and 5, Jaehong 13-2 and 7, so not too far behind.
I mean, is Winston really that hard to play, Hex? I mean, you jump in.
All right, well, I mean, the old meme, no aim, no brain. You guessed it, I'm a Winston main.
There you go.
Look,
he literally sprays and prays.
There may not be a lot of aim, but there is a lot of brain that goes into the primates.
What? You throw yourself in there, you get pocketed by your Mercy. How hard could it be? Jaehong just doing his thing. All right, let's stop it. We're obviously joking. Winston mains, don't get all up in a tizzy. You know, comb your fur out. Don't get in a...
You know, it looks like someone just volunteered to main tank for casting.
Oh,
no! No! We've got the live on-air proof.
There's no way I'm going Winston v. Winston with Johnny.
Someone's got to do it.
Not that... Wait, is Johnny going to play? Do you reckon he plays main tank, or is he going to try and hard carry those... I mean, because look at the guys who are going to be on his team.
Yeah,
somebody's got to get some kills on there.
It's going to be a lot.
You're going to count on Bren to get the kills?
No,
Johnny's never going to let that happen.
No, you're not. All right, so a decent... Their first half, as you know, London is able to take it. We'll see what Seoul has on their offense. Fury up here for some scouting info. That is just where you always find the Diva. Will skirt his way back. And as always, on Volsky A, a lot of this depends on Fleta versus Bird Ring. Bird Ring, I thought, had a better McCree than he did Widow early on.
Yeah, it didn't really seem like he was getting quite that impact with the Widow. But, I mean, then again, you are going toe-to-toe with Fleta, who is aggressively hunting right now for that angle, and he might get rewarded. Yep, they are all out in the open. Misses the chance, though, Fleta. That could have been a strong start, and that actually cost them, well, 2 players now. So,
yeah,
Soul, chuck yourself in the icy waters.
Well, I mean, I think he was considering going back, but now Fleta is sneaking about. He's got an angle. No one's checked him yet.
If he just hangs around here, yeah, but Prophet's looking for him. Yep, Prophet found him. And Fleta doesn't care. Fleta wins the duel versus Prophet.
Fleta is all out of flicks to give. He's going to try to get himself in a different position right now. Get this high ground, but to just even live through that was good, because that could have been disastrous. He gets caught out. They have to completely wait again. Catches someone in the Venom Mine out back.
Ocean catches Guido, and well, we are having quite a few kills coming in here for London Spitfire.
Gambler, Guido, both down. That one's over. Fleta will get cleaned up eventually by a Widow Mine. Now it's just a matter of getting the rest of them out of there. Defense will hold. Offensively, they are nearing a couple of ultimates, support ultimates, but since this fight has been so one-sided in favor of London thus far, they are going to be a bit behind in the economic game.
It's going to slow things down just a little bit here.
I mean, the big disparity is Guido versus Bedosian. Bedosian has his Transcendence up. Guido just now hitting 40%.
So, I mean, Guido's been getting shot in the face a lot, though.
Yeah, he's died early a couple times.
Dies early, and then, well, that's what happens. No ult charge, no joy. Prophet getting danced around for now. That won't last too long, though. He's about to hunt Munchkin down, and sure enough, there's the kill. Taking a little bit of a poke, seeing if there was an opening there. They will not be able to get the res off on that. Gambler is going to have to be patient and wait for him to res up back and spawn.
I mean, Prophet just doing whatever he wants. They chase him out a little bit. This has been slow going for this Seoul offense, perhaps waiting for some of these ultimates to come online. Jaehong's Primal Rage will finally come online, and now with Infrasight, they might want to go, but they get jumped on first. Nice shot from Fleta, though.
Oh, there was a chance there. Birdring, unfortunately for him. We will have the stick coming in from Munchkin. Perfectly done. Closer does get the res off on Doshin, though, so we do have to trance if he wants to commit it, and Doshin, sure enough, will get that into the fight ASAP. Birdring and Prophet working together as a duo over here, hoping to catch somebody out, but that's not meant to be for now.
Offense and defense have switched spots here. Birdring and now in the back, but a couple more fall. Seoul seems to have finally cracked the nut that was the London defense. They will take point A in much slower fashion than London did.
Throwing a bit into it as well. No support ults to try and snowball onto the B point here, whereas Closer, he's got his Valk. The London Spitfire can slow things down here. 4 minutes, 55 seconds on the clock, and Birdring swapped over to the Genji. I mean, maybe he catches Fleta here.
They got a lot of time here. Not really that big of snowball potential, but Birdring has to swap. He's going to be on the Genji. Again, defensive Genji against a Widow. And when they go to a McCree, maybe you go back to a Widow on the defense. It's that delicate dance of DPS.
Or you just go right over the top. I like it, Zumba! Get in there, put the pressure on. Support's already getting batted in the face by the micro missiles, and while Zumba just continues to keep his presence felt. And it's going to be the counter dive coming in immediately from London Spitfire.
Yeah, that's the problem with sending both your tanks into that one angle. It leaves the backline completely exposed. Prophet, no rookie here, knows exactly that's what's up. Goes to the backline, dispatches Guido with ease.
Well, unfortunately, the tanks, they're still alive. They'll give a lot of ult charge over. That's nice.
Well, I mean, it's good for London. They were able to reset their economy. They did have to commit the Valkyrie into that, but now they've got tank ultimates. They got most of their ultimates coming online except for that Valkyrie. Now Fleta is off of that Widow. Gonna get a Genji battle here. Mirror matchup.
Yeah, well, both of them competent. So we'll be fun to see how that goes. Birdring's still shaking it off a little bit, although he has been having a little bit more of a voice. It's not that dominant soprano yet. Let's see. Just waiting for it. Is it going to go? Yep, Ito, no chance to cancel it. Well, we just got to have a whole bunch of hacked body parts. As Birdring will find the one. Prophet is there to back him up as well. Fleta overwhelmed.
A trade in favor so far for London as they were able to take out Guido in that mix. They kept with their supports alive. London had to use a pretty decent amount of stuff there, though. That's the issue. On the other side, so did Seoul. Even a late Primal Rage comes in. Seems like they still want to pressure, though. This is a Tracer duel that could decide a whole lot. Prophet and Munch can continue to check each other. Seoul now in a decent position. They've got all 6 up, ready to go. It's going to be 6v6 again.
Oh, this is going to be fun, though. Birdring, he's changed it up. You want to dive us?
All right.
Oh, let's go. How's a bunch of shrapnel to the face?
Something we haven't seen a whole lot of recently, at the very least on most Last. That one is going to be a pretty unresable position, it would seem. Zumba also will go down immediately. But he does get Birdring during it. Fleta's looking for more.
Yeah, and he will find the one. Could potentially get closer, but he decides to get back over here with his team on the point itself. And they are on the edge of picking up one tick. Closer will be there to back up his teammates, though, and they are contesting for now.
Closer had to pop Valkyrie. He was off the edge, and I don't think he had a Guardian Angel target to go to, so he popped Valkyrie just so he could fly in and stay into this fight, so they forced that ultimate. These kills aren't coming quick enough for my liking, though, as most of London is back here on the defense, and they're going to have dueling Zoom-Yadas on the point.
Yeah, the duels go in. Going to be tough to find the kills, and now you'll have Gambler, who's properly delayed his Valkyrie here. He will be able to get that chain healing going, and it looks like that's going to make the difference here for Seoul Dynasty, unless we can see some huge plays coming in here from Prophet, who doesn't get anything out of his pulse. Prophet still trying to hang in here, but it will be them on the edge. Seoul Dynasty right now, all they have to do is weather the storm. They're running in one at a time. Chester with the Primal will get caught, and that it will be it. Seoul Dynasty tying it up 2-2.
They're in a very good position now to Seoul Dynasty. It didn't seem like it took London all that long on their offense, but it did. And now, I mean, it's London on the back foot here. London was only able to capture the second point in overtime, so 140 on the clock. That's at least 2 good pushes, and they just need a tick.
Setting themselves up here to win that map.
That would be a first map.
that map that the analyst desk love to talk about so much, despite the fact that it has been quite a while. Let's see. We got an instant replay of Munchkin most likely blowing people up.
There's
Or
got
not.
people on the edge, and then he gets the channeling Junkrat, which is just a free kill if you can find him. Cleans up, does so much damage. He's so overlooked sometimes because there's so many good tracers in the Overwatch League. I mean, you have Bunny, you got Prophet in this game, you got Sabiobi. I could go on and on and on, and it takes a while until you get to Munchkin's name on that list.
It's really hard to kill targets that are standing still. You know, it's all the mind games there. It's all in the mind games. You think they're gonna juke left, they're gonna juke right. No, they're just standing still, Hex. Your crosshairs all over the place.
Yeah, Junkrat channeling the tires like a free flashback. You know, he's just gonna sit there. You got to kill him before that the tire kills you, though. That's the biggest problem there. Seoul on the offense are gonna look for this Diva sleep dart right out the gate. Oh, yeah, Jaehong misses it.
Oh, that felt close.
You know, the odd thing when your best Ana player is also your Winston right now.
Just slow things down just a little bit. But he is going to be able to get back into this fight. He's got the Harmony Orb as well, Guido. He knows who butters his bread. Well, let's get into this fight as FlatOut will be looking for that opening pick. Spots out the Zenyatta, knows what that is going to mean. But they are still playing a fairly standard setup.
I like that they're being more aggressive because if they can just get trades here, then it's going to favor them in the long run, considering that they only need the 33% and then they have the spawn advantage. A couple of decent trades so far, and FlatOut will find Jester. This is looking terrible for London. Only 2 alive. It's just Closer and Benocean. They will res Jester. Need a miracle, though.
He is going to get focus fired so quickly now with that Discord Orb. He is not long for this world, and they will succeed. Seoul Dynasty will pick up the map versus the London Spitfire to kick off this series.
A little surprising, I think, to a lot of people. I expected London to have a little better showing, but they're retooling some things. They've got people coming back in after a bit brief hiatus, maybe not at full health, and Seoul Dynasty's got to be surprising them. I don't think anyone expected to see Jaehong on main tank.
That is definitely a shock. Guys, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we will find out if Seoul Dynasty can keep it up, or will London Spitfire tie up the series 1-1.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's fastest network ever. Omened by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. And by Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League.
as a unit together here. London Spitfire looking for the fight.
And that's a pretty epic start for Seoul Dynasty right there. And Prophet just going crazy here on this Tracer. Punchkin, whoa! 3K.
But London Spitfire, the 2 big kills coming through.
Seoul Dynasty are still putting on a show for us here, Matt.
So, I'm glad you guys had a break along with the rest of us here to ponder what has been going on with Seoul Dynasty. You got your support player who's on the main tank, and that unlocks the victory.
I think a lot of it's shot calling, and the important thing I think for Seoul is they exercise some mental demons there of finally being able to beat the core of this roster, and they had to win it on Volskaya because the next map is Numbani. London is 9-0 on Numbani. I think their defense is a big reason why. I think Numbani is one of the harder maps to defend, especially on first point. And look at this setup that they have. They're running a Widow in back, and right now they're going to jump into the back line. Prophet puts some pressure on them. Jester's hanging out up top. You've got the infra site, and they're all sitting back. Look at this. Closer, Bedosian, and Fury in the middle. The moment Super jumps in, this is the counter dive. Jester's going to come in and watch that bottom trio is hanging out. They're going to rotate all the way left because the only way for Moth to get out is to go to Super. Hurek hits that shot. He hits Sleepy. They were just so fortified to the back line. They've got perfect positioning there on their defense. They'll chase down the remainder of these kills even, but you've got all 3 in the back. You've got both supports in your Widow. Fury's just standing sentry, and then it's the DPS duo of Gesture and Prophet, always putting on that counter pressure. Nowhere to run except towards Super, who maybe it was a little misguided jump. Rotate to the left, and you hit both those headshots. That fight's over right there. You kill both supports.
It's a sad thing, you know, when you're a Winston, right? You know, those kinds of moments where you're the only
I thought that was the end. I thought that was just the end of your sentence.
Oh, man. It's tough being a Winston, man.
Winston's been carrying the Overwatch of the years. There's been such good tank play here, and I think, you know, perhaps, and maybe they'll answer these questions later, but, you know, maybe they need the shot calling. They need the leadership. Jaehong is a veteran player. He's been a captain of teams before, so maybe they want him just calling all the shots. They feel that they've got the support play that they need out of Gambler and Guido here, and they might just be experimenting with different rosters.
And that's, I think, what's going to be the main thing here is, like, see how the team performs in a live match versus your nemesis. And it's a pretty good opportunity here.
This is cool. This is a cool angle to take on the offense, especially if you know what London wants to do on their defense. They come all the way around up top, and they're just going to take the bridge away from them if they have the chance. And now there's this, you know, they're trying to rotate over there, unable to do so. Guido and Gambler are backing each other up, so I like the idea. A lot of teams just been running right up Broad Street and leaping up top. They're not going stairs, so they try something a little bit different.
I'm trying to change it up. What's also different is that we have an Ana on the map, but it's not Jaehong playing it.
No, Jaehong is a Winston main. Why would you think he plays Ana?
Exactly. Fool. Why would I be shocked? That was nice, though. Birdring removes him. That's how Birdring. Oh, the res will go off. Not able to hit the flick there, but Birdring might be able to get the follow-up on Guido. Send him back to the grave twice in 10 seconds. Missing some shots here, but he will find Gambler. And that's a big opening now for London Spitfire with the back line under pressure. Gesture is on top of Guido. And that is going to be the first point taken.
I'll take it all the way over. A nice opening salvo from the Widow on offense. There's been one of the reasons I like Numbani right now is there's been all sorts of different styles. Teams are playing a lot of different things comparatively to some other maps. Koff, Volskaya, Koff. But now, you know, we'll see if there's a rotation to a 76, if you feel that Seoul might have to run maybe a Widow of their own, but they have a Genji, so it should be okay. Now, the question I have is who gets this nano boost? It'll very likely be Jaehong.
Yeah, give Jaehong, well, just let him get in there, soak the damage, deal the damage with that split AoE. Birdring finds the headshot on Guido yet again. Yet again, Guido gets rezzed, and we'll have to see, can Birdring find another pick on the back line, as sure enough, Nano Boost goes down onto Jaehong right now. He has just got an amped up super voltage taser that he's going to work with, and unfortunately for him, even bolted up, he's not going to find a kill.
But you're trading that for more percentage on Primal Rage, because he starts off with 70. Maybe he gets up there anyway without the nano boost, but he's going to have it now for sure. Guido also getting off of the Ana, was unable to do so before with his spawns. He's going to go over to the Zenyatta instead. Ana not necessarily played on second or third here too often anymore. Zed is just too powerful in the meta, and to be able to deal with other teams' tanks, you almost need the Discord Orb.
You need it. You need it. Tanks right now, so difficult to kill if they're getting healed up. And well, unfortunately for Prophet, that definitely did not go out. That pulse bomb didn't go the way he had planned it.
Yeah, and look, Ana can be good against tanks as well, because you have the anti-heal nade,
yes,
but that has a cooldown. This Discord Orb really does not.
you just keep that pressure going. Let's say self-destruct, not going to find anybody. Does do some damage to the pavement, so fair enough there. But Seoul Dynasty, he is, well, they are, rather, going to be putting up a good fight. Fury will find Jaehong, who gets cut off from his back line. Gambler is under pressure right now from Birdwing as well, so it's going to make life difficult for him to get out over here and try to get the res off on Gambler, but I think he will. Jaehong brought back to life, but at the cost of his own life. Gambler taking a risk.
I mean, some of this is just going for plays. I mean, if this Seoul Dynasty roster, the 6 players they've compiled today, don't have a ton of playtime together, not in live Overwatch League action either. Fleta, just by the skin of his teeth, I thought he was actually just going to wait to die right there as well. Might go reset anyway. Prophet will find him towards the end in London. Takes a swift second point.
London have definitely begun to rally here. Birdwing perhaps just needing a map to start warming up. He's definitely started to hit some shots. 5 final blows already on this push. With 4 minutes on the clock, ample time here for London Spitfire to get the job done. Pulse not going to find a target, unfortunately for Prophet. He hasn't really been connecting with those pulse bombs.
No, but he's doing everything else that he needs to do. He hasn't died yet. He's got 8 eliminations, 5 final blows. There's only 4 deaths on the side of London right now, so Soul just not finishing kills. Fleta's got a blade to maybe get it going. That bubble's going to pop.
There it is! Double kill for Birdwing, and Jester sets it up. Triple for Birdwing in the end. Seoul Dynasty sent packing.
Oh, it's a rage tracer moment too. Like when you get flashbang, at least do me the courtesy of headshotting me. Dying to a flashbang, it just hurts. The little damage that it does.
You're done. You're done. He doesn't even need to really aim it.
Guido is out in no man's land right now. He's behind everybody, but now the distraction comes in, might save his life. He does go down before this though.
Prophet finds Gambler though. Mercy is gone. Fleta feeling the hate, gets overwhelmed by Gesture, who eventually tases him to death. And Prophet the entire time. Look at that, he can't even believe it himself.
Jaehong's in the back, he's got Primal Rage and he's on the stairs. You need that Primal Rage to stay on the cart, stay alive as much as possible. Then maybe your Mercy gets out at 75% on her Valkyrie. Valkyrie's alive there, and he can start snowballing it there. Look, it's a hard point to close out. Look how close the spawn doors are.
Give me a camera of Jaehong right now. Give me a camera of Jaehong. I'm curious if they're talking, because that could be miscommunication. Maybe he wasn't aware of what was going on.
Yeah.
I mean, they can't be happy about that, because that, you're right. You're absolutely right. A Primal Rage Jaehong. Winston, you're just going to try to stay alive on that cart until
Jaehong, Winston, they're synonymous,
That's
right?
definitely,
You think of one, you think of the other.
I'm trying to wrap my brain around this right now. It's just not coming. We'll get there, guys. We got a long match ahead of us here.
I think we have a replay coming up. I was laughing too hard, so I'm not entirely sure what this is, but this is them on the cart at the last second. A couple people come in. Yeah, it's a self-destruct over the top. And Zumba will fall along with Munchkin. What you don't see on your screen is Jaehong on the stairs hanging out Primal Rage style. Guido also got himself stuck back there too. It kind of was a really, I think it almost forced the blade out of Fleta to come try and save him. He was behind and London had just seen him go in there, so I don't know, a little bit out of sorts. But as I mentioned just prior to that, in the little time that we had on this map, it's like this set of 6, it's going to take some time, I guess. And, you know, why not give it a shot against what is going to likely be your competition to get into the season playoffs? Look, these teams, we talk about them like they're bottom of the pack. Again, 3rd and 4th in the overall standings, but they made their bones in Stage 1 and Stage 2 for the most part, beating up on some teams that didn't necessarily have the cohesion that some of these teams did coming in. So they've been struggling lately. We'll see which one of these teams can pick it up, but trying to beat London on Numbani is a very difficult task. This is also what they do as well. They will take this peak early on behind Fury in the defense matrix, damage boosted Widow shot. It's worth a shot, doesn't cost you anything, costs your cooldown.
Yeah, they're able to back off as well, and now Birdwing will be on the high ground. So there it is, you know, Jaehong getting put on notice immediately. Body shot there.
We'll see if Birdwing plays this any differently than Hurega. They played it a little more aggressive, and then Hurega would back off a little bit. It just depends on where your cooldowns are at. But Birdwing will be down below the bridge. They don't really want to dive this until they get dove, and then they're going to probably rotate down below in an undiveable position. We'll see what Gesture and Prophet do. They're going to be up top for the most part. And yeah, this is just a mile away. This is where London likes to play. He's a little far away from his supports right now, but that's fine.
It's going to be very difficult to get there and punish him. That's going to be the main idea. Fleta would have to use a lot to get in there, and he'd probably want to go for a squishier target. I mean, Closer and Doshin are just watching each other's backs right now, and there it is. They are going to move in. Munchkin is there to pounce as well, but Prophet jumps immediately into the fray, manages to remove Jaehong, but that's not going to be happening fast enough before Seoul are able to do some serious hurt.
I would love to figure out how Munchkin got back there, because the whole reason Jester and Prophet are usually on the other side of the map is to watch that flank. That's where tracers come from. So usually you have Jester and Prophet on the high ground, on the stairs, making sure that they're in position to counter dive, but also watching that flank for the tracer. The fact that Munchkin's there is that extra pushing power they needed to complete that dive. They do so, and someone fell asleep on guard duty.
That was so clean. Refreshing to see after a bit of a struggle in the first half there for Seoul Dynasty, but that's it. You take your time, you set it up. Jaehong calling the shots, led the way. He died, but he sacrificed himself for a successful push, and that's what it's all about here for Seoul Dynasty, as they will begin to make some progress. Gesture holding kind of close, but he will be giving some good old charge over to his healers, soaking some damage.
Pulse bomb ready for Munchkin, looking for targets that he wants. Misses his whole clip on Prophet, who swings in front of him, now tries to find him, forces the recall. Prophet's in a little bit of trouble.
That forced recall there for Munchkin, though, has to back off. Pulse not going to find anything, unfortunately, for him.
Prophet just retreated into the loving arms of Jester. They're there for each other non-stop. Here comes the very aggressive Transcendence.
Now leading the way, and Prophet right there. One stick on the Fleta, and he gets the kill on Gambler as well as an afterthought. Are they going to be keeping up with the pressure? Certainly not. Jester's going to chase them back, and the delayed kill onto Jaehong as well.
Prophet's taking advantage from the fact that they don't necessarily have their coordination down yet on the dive. The moment it comes in, Prophet's like, all right, see you, boys. You guys can go deal with it. I've got 3 targets in the back line. 1, 2, 3. There you go. Strikes. You're out. And they just completely clean it up. Prophet he's such a cerebral player in my mind. He plays everything so well, and it's largely because of his positioning and decision-making. And then, you know, when he gets there, he can just one-clip you too.
Well, yeah, he's mechanically bonkers. He's so good.
But almost everyone is in the Overwatch League. And what really sets people apart is just their straight-up decision-making.
Wow.
Especially the Winston players, most mechanically gifted players.
Alright, TBD.
Well, here goes a blade from Fleta, looking for something. Has to deflect a lot of this. Only gets Badoshan so far.
That's not it, but he is going to be alive on the point, and that's what's going to matter here, because the cleanup duty will fall to him. Self-destruct thrown out for a fresh mech, and Prophet eventually going to get chased around the corner, although Birdring hitting body shots will save his teammate.
Trying to get in here. Jester's eating a lot of spam here from Fleta. Already 25% again on the blade. They try to get aggressive, and the moment they get aggressive, Guido goes down because Prophet's in the back line.
Yeah, again. Memento Mori. Feels like Prophet's just embodying it right now.
Yeah.
You forgot me!
And then they'll clean this up too. No joke, actually. I think the hardest mechanical thing in the game is to Primal Rage. You ever tried to Primal Rage and hit more than 2 juggles in a row?
Just juggle people?
It's ridiculous. It is so hard. It's like driving a semi-truck with flat tires.
Well, listen, you got to balance out the taser, right? Now, there's got to be some skill element.
Dude, I can't even land a leap on a stationary target, so who am I to talk about Winston play? I said, man, you're making a case. You can main tank for us.
No, I know it's going to happen. You guys are going to remember that one time I forgot to pay you back or whatever. Oh, yeah, go ahead and dive in, Semler. We'll be right behind you.
Right
oh, man.
Guido's got Transcendence. Last time they got aggressive with the Transcendence. We'll see if they do the same. Birdring and Fleta locked in Mortal Kombat here.
The eternal struggle. It is going to be Birdring, though, playing it safe. As Munchkin from on high, he could be fishing for that. Yep, there it is. The Pulse will immediately demech Fury. No guaranteed kill, but he should be able to get the follow-up here. Not a whole lot that Fury can do in Baby Diva form.
Valkyrie has been popped. That's a nice kill from Birdring. Maybe the kill that they need to bring them back into this fight. But so far, the Seoul offense looking rather good. Another kill for good measure. Here comes the Caduceus Blaster. Not going to be enough. And Seoul will grab second points. Only 3 minutes in their bank, though, so even if they complete this map, it's going to be at a slower pace than the London Spitfire.
Yeah, the onus will be on them to get the job done if we flip it and tie it up 3-3. And I was curious to see if Birdring was going to make a change, and it is going to be over towards the Genji now. So they're just going to want to take the fight to him, not let Seoul Dynasty get too comfortable here on this payload.
No one can hide.
Prophet is still hanging around on the flank. That should not come as a shock to anybody at this point. But Prophet is going to go in. He's got his ult, and Guido will fall to Fury is working together with Gesture, Prophet, and Fury just moving in as that triple killer trio.
They've also popped the Valkyrie as well, but now they're still losing people. Munchkin trying to pull it back, though, gets himself both of the supports for London. Another great Tracer play.
Gambler delayed kill. Guido's trying to float himself back into that fight as fast as possible, but Right now, his team, they're hanging on by a thread. Jaehong at half HP, getting that Harmony Orb. He needs it.
I mean, they're keeping the pressure on a little bit, but Flood is going to be so slow to rejoin this fight. They're not going to full-on retreat. Should be okay. Someone's got to get back for Gambler to get taxied in. He's walking back all alone as Mercy finally finds a target in Guido. So now we have 6v6, full reset here. McCree versus Genji, the battle to watch going into this. Birdring about to have Blade. London, a huge advantage in ultimates at the moment.
Yeah, he's got the Blade. Do they know that Trance is online? Well, it is going to be the dash through. Fleta is gone. The only thing that could have stopped this Blade from wreaking at total havoc. 3 kills for Birdring. And a super solid hold there for London Spitfire, as clean as it gets. You get the flashbang. You don't even have to worry about the Trance, and you kill the flashbang first thing.
I've never understood why flashbang works on Genji. I mean, I'm glad it does, but he's got like a visor, should be able to like hit a switch like Predator that can't like get affected by that ray of light.
You are so right.
Maybe it's loud
Should
noises.
be able to mute it audio as well.
Yeah,
oh, come on.
yeah.
You got a cutoff point. Think about it.
Yeah, I mean, the robot ears. That's what you need to enjoy techno.
Modern times. We've all got robot ears, apparently.
60 seconds.
All right, 60 seconds. You hear the dramatic music. This can be one of the last pushes here. They already take on Fleta. Res already used.
Res already used. Gambler able to dodge a lot of that, though. And they are going to be able to accept this dive fairly well. Seoul Dynasty doing a great job so far. Prophet and Gesture, both of them dead, and Gesture had Primal as well. They will res up now, though, so they will be able to get back into this fight. And Closer, you can see flying high right now. Chain healing all of his teammates, trying to keep them alive. Fury did manage to stall that out quite a while, and what a stick from Munchkin, but he kills himself.
Hey, quite the stick. Ends up with a single casualty there. The Primal Rage is now on the point. High Noon, Deadeye out. Does find Jaehong peeking over there. That might be the kill they need. Only 15 seconds left. Is there enough for a reset? Oh, they're getting staggered so hard. There's a Mercy behind too. Prophet finds that. We'll take that charity case to town.
Yeah, I love this from Birdring as well. Get out there, show no respect. Deny him, it doesn't matter if Fleta gets the kill. He's got 3 seconds. He's only got Spurs. You will be able to get Munchkin back in here. He will keep the overtime wick burning just a little while longer. That could allow for Fleta to get back in. Just not gonna happen, it looks like, as they are getting pushed back at the arch. Overtime burns down, and London Spitfire will tie up the series 1-1.
They remain unbeaten on Numbani. They have this map figured out just like Boston has, Volskaya figured out. You do not come into Numbani and beat London. 10-0 on the map.
Yeah, brutal. But Birdring, everybody hitting shots, getting the job done there for London Spitfire. Good to see Birdring back in the mix and getting warmed up. It's going to be fun to see how this pans out, as the series is still on the line. We're going to take a break, and we'll come back and hear what the analysts have to say on the desk after that.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places.
Welcome back, everyone. We're all knotted at the half, 1-1. This matchup between the London Spitfire and the Seoul Dynasty. Golden Boy alongside with Brendan Sideshow here. And, let's jump into the highlights and might as well just fly into this because I think we just got to address the elephant in the room here. Ryu Jae-hong's playing the main tank.
He's a gorilla.
This is a world that we live in.
He's a scientist gorilla. He is not an elephant in any room.
Oh,
Come on,
fair enough.
Come on.
I didn't think about it for a
But
moment.
Jae-hong has previously played the off-tank for this team way back when, right when this team was first formed. He's played DPS for them at times. He's played, obviously, support for them, but I've never seen him on main tank, so what a weird shock.
Yeah.
He was only playing support a week ago. That's why we thought it was Guido, He's just been on the bench, so maybe he's had time to learn main tank. Jae-hong was literally playing like a couple of days ago.
I did joke about it in the walkout. I said I don't know if he's got it in his arsenal. I guess the Oracle works in weird subconscious ways. I guess I could just.
You do not get that.
Even I don't predict things and know that I'm getting it right sometimes. But Numbani was a game that I think it went with the way we expected, but it was actually much closer than I expected. At least I'm not too sure about you, Josh. London have a 100% win rate on Numbani. This is their bread and butter, so to speak. And Solo coming into this, again, looking a lot better. They got a decent amount of push attempts coming in, but overall, they definitely looked a lot more comfortable than Seoul when it came to playing this map.
I would definitely say that is the case, but the big thing here is that even with their support playing main tank for the Seoul Dynasty, they're able to take the first map they've ever taken off the gesture profit core of the London Spitfire. And it had to be Volskaya, I would say, because they have that's where they have their biggest win rate, the biggest discrepancy between the two teams. And Numbani, you've got to expect to lose that coming into it. But they actually do look fairly decent. It's not that Jae-hong looks decent on Winston necessarily. He's had some periods where he's just been kind of
Looking quite average, to be honest.
Yes, he looks, but also he just looks uncomfortable on the hero, I would say. He doesn't manage his cooldowns as well as some other people. Sometimes you'll catch him just like looking upwards. Like this is the play. He just kind of looks at the high ground and it's like, oh, my jump's on cooldown, what am I doing? So he's just sat on the floor. But the team is more decisive. They're playing more around Fleta, and Jae-hong's making the moves when he needs to. Whereas with Miro, they were very indecisive. So overall, I do think that this is a better look for the team. Is this going to be permanent? Are they going to try and go back to Miro? We don't know, but I would feel fairly comfortable with this if I was Seoul Dynasty, because there's potential here for massive improvement. You know that Jae-hong's kind of has the potential to be an all-star player on a lot of different roles. So why not main tank?
There was I have to read this because it's probably one of the funniest posts on Reddit that I saw. So someone on the official Overwatch Reddit thread said, his name's Sage Sung, and he says, I've seen Ryu Jae-hong, Ryu Mei-hong, and now Ryu Jae-hong in OWL. Will we see the Gen Jae-hong and the Diva Hong? So he's just going for everything, man.
Okay.
He's going for everything.
Yeah.
At a certain point in time, I actually called Ryu Jae-hong the problem. But we now know that is not the case at all.
We all know that didn't
Miro
end well for
was the
you.
problem. Yeah, that didn't end well at all for me.
Perhaps Miro then.
And now Ryu Jae-hong appears to be the solution to this team's problems and their woes, and is really sort of being a spearhead. I wonder as well, again, more speculation coming from my part, but I wonder if it is part of it is because he is this older figure in the team. He's just stepped up and said, right, we need to sort something out with the main tanks. We need to get it sorted. I'll step up. I'll play it. Get Gambler in, get Guido in, and let's just see where it goes from there.
Yeah, it's weird though, because Jae-hong has previously been described as not the main caller of the team. It's been Gambler or it's been Toby, and he's been, I think they described him as like the goofy older brother kind of figure within the team. So I'm not sure whether he's moved more into a leadership role. Obviously this is brand new, it's unique. We haven't had a chance to talk to the team about it.
Yeah.
So I'd be really interested to know what the communication structure's like, because I think we assume because he's an older figure, because he's such a veteran, that he has kind of a captain figure, but I'm not sure that's 100% the case. I think maybe he's following the calls really well, whereas Miro's more of an instinctive player. A Gambler, the newest addition, who's been playing Mercy for them, used to be the caller of NYXL before when they were called Luxury Watch. So he's a very decisive main caller as well. It's really interesting, actually, to see this work. It's a mad experiment.
Yeah, you really need good communication. But you know what else has great communication? T-Mobile.
Good seeing
That's right. Now, as you may know, we've actually partnered with T-Mobile to give fans the chance to vote for this year's MVP. And every week, we're taking a closer look at some of the early favorites to win the award this year. And this week, we actually talked to Fleta from the Seoul Dynasty about what it would mean to be the MVP of Season 1. Let's go ahead and take a look.
Fleta must go big here, man. He needs to pick these players off. That's That's 2 already. The rest of the NYXL now starting to realize they need to keep their heads down, but can they stay in control while staying away from Flitter?
제 이름은 플레타입니다. 저는 서울 다이너스티 소속이고 DPS 딜러 역할을 맡고 있습니다. 리그에서 좋은 선수가 되기 위해서는 일단 실력적인 부분도 많지만 일단 그 선수의 행동 그리고 퍼포먼스가 좀 중요하게 여겨지는 것 같아요.
Tactical advice for Flitter to come in. He was going to be a trendsetter over the fight. Bertrick with a Dragon Blade, but Flitter has a trance of his own here.
스테이지 2를 거치면서 제가 발전하게 된 것은 일단 경기를 많이 뛰면서 제가 경기에서 긴장을 좀 많이 안 하게 됐고 일단 상대편 선수들의 플레이를 많이 보면서 저도 그 플레이를 실행하면서 저도 조금씩 좀 더 발전하는 그런 계기가 됐어요.
Flitter comes in with some more. This guy, a little bit of a quieter series for him, Matt, but that's a good resurgence for him, and it has gifted Seoul the final stretch now.
일단 좋은 DPS 선수가 되기 위해서는 상대방의 플레이를 보고 배울 줄도 알아야 되고 또 그거를 빠르게 배우는 능력도 필요하고.
Flitter, Dragon Blade time. Seconds left. He knows now it's his chance to go in. He's found 2. The coup de grace, and there it is.
So the question is, for fans at home and also for us here, do you think that Fleta is the MVP right now? If not him, then who? Who would you put in that conversation?
Well, for the first name that pops into my head is Jonak, right? This guy, rookie player.
Striker.
Maybe striker as well. You know, I can have multiple opinions about this, but Jonak, realistically, because he's come into it as a rookie, you know, nobody was really expecting much from him. But Flitter is also an excellent choice because he is the biggest asset, in my opinion, on this team, on Seoul Dynasty. He is the greatest asset that they can pretty much employ. And the fact that now we're seeing in the games, we particularly saw it in Skya, they're enabling him a lot more. They're enabling what he can do. You know, he is hitting a lot of shots. And when you do put that many resources into him, he is a win condition for them. So
I think it's pretty interesting as well that before we came into the Overwatch League, Ryu Jae-hong would have been somebody that everybody said has the potential to be the best player in the world, has reached that peak previously when it was Ana was dominating the meta. He was so clutch with that hero and was a really good Zen actually when they were still playing in Apex Season 4. But coming into this season, because the team has slumped, they haven't been able to appeal for him as well. He's looked a little lackluster compared to the other Zens like Jonak coming into the league, who was like a little protege that looked up to Jae-hong. But maybe now on Winston, I'm jesting a little bit, but when he's comparing to Gesture, Gesture is somebody that you could literally put in that MVP category. He's so good on the main tank. Prophet as well. I think Prophet would be my #1 pick for like DPS. Because he can play everything. He can play the Trickster, he can play the Genji, he can play every other hero under the sun. There's nobody else that can do it like him. Fleta doesn't have the Tracer, Striker doesn't have the Genji, there's nobody.
Yeah, but I look at the results, man, and the results tell me guys like Sebiobi have to be in contention for the MVP. I mean, just like what he brings to the table, the impact he has for his team, the consistency that he has for his squad as well. I mean, come on, we can argue about
Here's a question for both of you, real quick, because I know we want to move on, but who would you choose non-Korean player to be the MVP?
Ooh.
So
I might go for EQO. I think he's been really phenomenal on the Philadelphia Fusion. I think he's been a star player for them.
I knew you were going to go with EQO. Because I was going to do the same thing. He actually would be my pick as well.
I might also go for Note. He's been fantastic on the Boston Uprising on the weird diva role. So I think there are other kind of categories that you would find great players there.
Very true. This discussion, of course, is ever changing, and we want you guys to make sure you're involved in it. So make sure you use that hashtag OWLMVP as well as the players battle tag, and we want to hear your voice. But we do have the second half coming up after this break, so don't go anywhere. Who's going to take this one? We're all tied up 1-1. You don't want to miss it, and we'll see you in just a few.
Only one player can become the first ever Overwatch League MVP, and T-Mobile is giving fans the power to help the shoutcasters choose. Cast your vote now on Twitter by using hashtag OWLMVP and your player's battle tag.
back, ladies and gentlemen. The London Spitfire currently hold the 2-0 lead over the Seoul Dynasty. It's like the Dynasty just cannot get over this large gargantuan mountain that is the London Spitfire. Now, for all the Twitch All Access viewers out there, if you're still with us, friendly reminder, if you're a London Spitfire fan tonight, we have Money Shot Profit doing the AMA. So if you have any questions you want to ask him, like how he's enjoying the new place or what he did with his stage 1 winnings, anything, tonight is the night to ask those questions after the matches are all complete. Now, the Seoul Dynasty and the London Spitfire, this matchup is a lot more of what we've seen before it. Can the Seoul Dynasty finally conquer this London Spitfire demon? I think now is the time to find out. So let's get back into the matchup with our casters, Simler and Hex.
Thank you, Malik. And yes, now is the time to find out. All right, you ready? You ready? 3, 2, 1. Oh, we got it. All right. So I had to do the own whip crab. I had to do the own because I knew the sound guy wasn't going to be on point, so I had to do it my own.
Oh.
No, not quite. No.
Wakid? Is that what you said?
Yeah, that guy. He's still ready. So all right, hiding.
Yeah. So they talked about Profit doing an AMA afterwards, and those have been great, by the way, and I actually agree with Bren again. I've said that way too many, or no, not Bren, Sideshow. I agree with Sideshow. He's been a monster on absolutely everything. This is him as Genji and as Tracer. Look at those ranks across the board. As Tracer's been so good, as Genji's so good, he can play absolutely everything. He has been the steady component of the London Spitfire, and he's, I think, definitely in conversation for MVP.
Absolutely. In terms of statistics across the board, the man's a beast. He works so well with his tank, which is going to be the key thing moving forward. The inseparable duo of Profit and Gesture. I mean, there's always going to be that argument of like how much does the team facilitate a player like Profit and how much does he just take control himself.
He also turned Guido into a practice range target. Guido died 14 times in the last map, by far the most in the server. By about 40% there. Hureg is going to come in for aforementioned Birdring, getting the yawns out, getting that oxygen into the brain.
Somebody get this guy an energy drink. You're live on stage.
I thought he'd been playing better before Birdring came in. Birdring played fine, just trying to get a little more play time, see how that wrist feels, if he is going to be able to play going forward. Of course, they've got some time off coming up between stage 3 and stage 4. Perhaps he can rehab there as we enter into the beautiful island of Ilios,
on which we will be starting on Murder Chasm. Murder Hole, that is, Murder Hole.
Yeah,
Too much murder around here, hard to keep track.
Oh, it's not even coin operated. Must be one of those nice tourist spots where you don't have to pay for the views.
In the future, who's using coins anyways? You all have chips by then.
That's true. I don't think I've had cash on me in like 10 years.
You live in the States.
No need for it. All right, rolling out, we've got 2 McCrees on the map. One team has an Orisa. That's going to be Jaehong. Because when I think of Orisa, I think of Jaehong.
Indeed. It just goes hand in paw. Wait, I guess. Well, there we go.
Hook, my goodness. They're able to get the halt and hook, and Closers out of this fight. Full rotation coming on from London as they try to rotate through. They're not going to give this one up yet because they really don't have a place to retreat now. They've gotten themselves a little bit out of position. Profit's going to go back for Closer to try to taxi him in, but meanwhile, Badoshin's just going to hard reset.
Yeah, Fury able to dart back to safety as well. So Closer will get some ult charge off for the 2 tanks who managed to make it out.
Well, I thought this might be the reason that they were bringing Hureg in as well. I mean, he's got a very decent Pharah here. Of course, Birdring has been known to play a little bit of Pharah as well, but probably just trying to get Hureg some more time, see who's going to be their second DPS going into the future here. I mean, it's a lot of questions for London remain.
It's certainly going to be difficult given the fact that, oh, what a monster knock!
Jesus, puts both tanks into the hole, and that should open things up a great deal for London.
That was sick! There we go, Hureg. Doesn't even need to connect rockets with bases, it's fine. Commits them to the murder hole and forgets about them.
It's a more humane option. Drop them into a bottomless pit of despair.
Who knows how long, they're probably still falling.
At some point, the respawns did come in. No changes for Seoul to deal with this. They already had a McCree on the field, so I don't know what more you really want to deal with it. Got to get the Discord and some McCree shots on it if you really want to successfully pressure Hureg. See if he wants to go for a big flank here. He's got Barrage up, and getting behind an Orisa is a great way to land a Barrage. If they can just bait out the D.Va defense matrix, are going to get out of position.
They can get that shield going. There it is. Just decides to fully commit to it. Is he going to be able to get the follow-up? No! Hureg fluffs it, but they are low. Prophet gonna capitalize. Looking for the one clip on Nagito as well. Gonna make it 2, not quite. It's gonna be 3, but that's fine. Job was done, although that is pretty much the only thing that London were able to get out of that fight.
A surprise Zumba. He thought he was gone. He came back, was able to eat up a lot of that barrage, save his mercy at the very last second. Nice play from the off tank for Seoul.
Boys in black and gold right now putting up a fight. They will flip the point, 60% and counting.
They have a lot of ultimates to work with too. Munchkin will fall early to Hureg though, and that means there's no real counter to him in the sky. Perhaps Fleta can put some damage on him on the off tank. He's on the Roadhog. The flat cannon, alternative fire. Did they not see that?
Oh, stylish.
And he takes on
Forces him
Gambler.
out. Yeah, he still gets the kill on Gambler with a little bit of help from the pistols, and well, that is going to put Seoul in a bit of a tight spot here. They've lost their primary healer. Self-destruct is out. Hureg able to redirect, however, and will get the supercharger. No, body blocks abound, but yeah, eventually gets the job done.
A decent amount of progress here for London as they continue to try to take the point. Big bodies on there, but another rocket will connect, and they will flip it back over. Seoul is in the position that they only need one more fight. Going to have Valkyrie up as well. Of course, Hureg is going to be trying to target that Mercy again. Might be able to Valk her way out of that one. But again, they put themselves in a very good position. A little bit better record here on Ilios, but not by a very wide margin. I believe they also have a better record going into Junkertown as well. And we all know London's tribulations on Oasis, should we so need that map.
Exactly. If we go the distance to 5, the trials will definitely continue. As you can see, Hureg on a bit of a flank. Oh, instantly hooked! And guess what?
Oh, Gravity! The cruelest of mistresses right there. He thought he had him, got out of that. It's not the same damage it used to be for Roadhog. Was able to knock him off the edge. And now Fleta's gonna come back as Widow instead.
Way too cool. And yeah, that's it. Fleta's done with this game. He wants to start winning it. That was brutal. Not quite gonna get the flip. 86% and counting here for London. Spitfire about to tie it up. Prophet finally laid low here by Fleta on the angle.
I did not expect that, and now Fleta's going to be in a good spot here, and it's going to put Hureg in a really weird position. Speaking of weird positions, he's in the back line. He's looking for this barrage.
Looking for the targets, but man, he is barely hanging on. We'll trade it 1 for 1, but that's not going to be good enough here. Munchkin, however, will get chucked into the pit of despair by Gesture. And Zumba hanging on by a thread, still got that mech going. It's going to be Guido throwing the trance into this fight, keeping everybody alive. And Prophet, he's got the pulse as they clean it up. It is going to be the stick right onto Orisa. No, eaten up by the D-Matrix. Zumba with the save again.
Zumba's been Johnny on the spot here. It's exactly what you expect. Bedoshin on the Doomfish just to get back to the point. He's going to charge himself into the Orisa. Supercharger's down, so Bedoshin will soon follow.
Too much damage. 99 to 99 tied up right now, and that supercharger is still going. Unbelievable. Finally, Gesture will win it, or will kill it. And Munchkin, he's got the Deadeye, gonna play it safe, not going to trust it.
He's gonna remake just in time to buy his team a little bit of time. Bedoshin still on the Doomfist, trying to get back to the point. It's gonna be a 1v6 if he gets there. He will not. Seoul takes an early lead here on Ilios.
100 to 99. Doesn't quite get closer than that, Hex. It's like 99 and a half. We're not quite getting there. So
you know how much I struggle with numbers, and now you're throwing decimals in this mix.
Let's just complicate things. Let's just go. Let's go.
Fractions, decimal, it's just
We've already got
too much.
meters getting chumped down as well here on payload maps. Might as well just make it.
I think the moment I gave up on math is when they started introducing imaginary numbers. I'm like, nah, I'm out. I'm out.
No, it was all about eighths and sixteenths of inches.
No, I know.
I was like, give me my decimal system, please.
I did, pass the 4th grade. That was about it for me, but I did get my fraction work in. Long division still remains a mystery. We're on Ruins, means we're gonna have a Widow battle. This is no surprise to anyone who's seen any sort of Overwatch. Widow v Widow, this is the stage for it. Mirror matchups aside from that.
This is definitely Fleta's playground. It's gonna be on Hureg here to eventually find him. As well, Fleta just keeps putting body shots in. He'll keep doing that all day long. See, already pulling pretty far ahead in the ult race.
Yeah, they just took different angles there. It seemed like London wanted to walk through the hallway, and Fleta was happy to stay back in the corner and get all that free damage. Meanwhile, Zumba continues to be one of the best players in the server. Takes down both supports. Don't know if it's going to matter, though, because right now, London has fought back valiantly.
Yeah, they have brought a lot of kills back. Hureg trying to play careful. We have Fury and Gesture. Gesture eventually dies. Fury as well. Munchkin should win this fight. Hureg might have to put himself to the point, but somehow Fury survives, and not only that, wins the duel.
Gets the light gun action onto Munchkin. You know, like a lot of people are like, oh, Tracer versus Baby Diva. That is a small target, and that blaster does a lot of damage, and it's terrifying. You'll see even the top level Overwatch Tracers have to recall during that battle.
Yes, it is. You're 90%. You're at 90%. So we will get a fresh mech in here for Fury. Gonna be happy about that. The fight will continue as Gesture is currently taking point.
Jaehong out of this, so pressure is going to be lesser on Hureg. Rest back up, small advantage to London.
Well, Prophet commits the pulse bomb right into the middle of things, not going to connect, unfortunately. And while it is going to be Fury, D-Mech yet again has to self-destruct for a fresh mech, though, and the trance is going to get thrown in here by Guido. No time wasted on his part, wants to keep everybody alive. Same is going to be said from Doshin, though. Trance is in for London Spitfire, no kills quite yet. And Seoul Dynasty right now, they just want to force him off at this point. Trying to flip it, but they cannot dislodge London Spitfire, who continue to keep a presence going. Doshin finally goes down to Jaehong.
Jaehong on the Winston will get to the back line and take out this Zenyatta. He's been on the other side of that plenty of times. The resurrection is there. Meanwhile, Seoul has taken control of the point. Notion will fall yet again.
They can't quite hang with Fleta right now, who's just got these open angles, 14 limbs, 9 final blows and counting.
Yeah, so, while Seoul continues to mop up the rest of that fight, the prevailing notion right now as we're formulating theories on why Jaehong is on main tank is who knows better not only to engage, but when to peel for your support line than one of the best support players in the world. Come back, you know when they need help, know how to get to the support line, so it's kind of playing the antithesis of your main role, but you understand that role just kind of through osmosis. Didn't work out on Numbani as Guido was, you know, just kind of beat up by Prophet, but I think that might be the reason they're putting Jaehong. The other reason, which makes a little more sense, is, hey, gotta try something.
This might be the other one there. You got your hands, you're waving them in the air. Closer right now is doing that. Doshin as well. Hureg gone, and 3 quick kills coming in for Seoul Dynasty as they defend the point and continue to extend their lead.
Getting very aggressive now, looking for shots as they exit spawn. Will retreat, don't want to get caught out here.
Just take your time. Continue to climb, and well, just let Fleta have the angle here. Yep, early shot. Fury consigns himself to the death, says he is looking for that fresh mech, and he will be able to come back into it. 90% and counting for his self-destruct.
Well, it's why he didn't go to spawn, because he didn't want to switch off and give up that 93% on ultimate for Diva. She gets ult pretty quickly, but 93% is nothing to sneeze at, so he's just going to buy some time here, but we're down to it. Seoul needs one more hold to win this map and take the lead in the series.
And this is going to be it. Fury, once again, the man in the middle of the fray, but that's not going to help Hureg one bit. Beautiful shot there from Fleta. Quick reactions. That's what you expect from a top-tier Widow player. Well, right now, this is just looking like Seoul Dynasty are going to roll right through.
They lost both of their supports to begin that fight, and then they lost one more. No resurrections, no healing, no chance for London. The Seoul Dynasty now goes up 2-1 in the series.
Taking the lead. 2 maps won against a team that they could hardly ever scratch in the past. Now Seoul Dynasty, with the recent changes, and things are looking up. Jaehong continues to play that main tank role, and they continue to find success. It's going to be a 4th map coming up after the break, and we'll see. Are London able to bring it back? Can Hureg step up and make up for Birdring? Or will Seoul Dynasty close it out and finally achieve victory versus the London Spitfire?
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League. And by T-Mobile, America's fastest network ever.
now, there's going to be that additional pressure here to stand up and get the job done.
You really see teams pushing each other to a higher level.
How do you continue this momentum right now?
It's like a marathon, you know, you got to be ready to go the distance.
When people talk about history, I want to be in that discussion.
It is something that takes an incredible amount of skill to be the best at.
All right, welcome back from the break, everybody. That's it. Everything is on the line. The pressure is mounting, but not so much for both of these teams right now. They're not in the running for the Stage 3 playoffs, but they are in the running. They are still at the top of the pack in terms of the season playoffs at the end of the first season. So, there's still a lot to figure out here for both of these rosters, and we're seeing a bit of that tonight with Seoul.
What a great emotional swing it would be for Seoul, too, to beat London on the way out, exercise some of the demons, maybe put together a new roster, kind of figuring some of the things out a little bit.
That's the way my mind works, though, because like when asking Jae Hong earlier, oh, is Miro the problem? He's like, no comments, just laughing. And Miro's probably watching this, like, Jae Hong, just Jae Hong might be taking that spot, Miro. I mean, that's the deal with subs.
Yeah, Jae Hong's been pretty aggressive on the Winston too, and I think that's something that Seoul had been lacking. They've kind of made their bones as a team coming up. They're being a little more reactive, a little more passive, kind of the slow, grind you to dust kind of team. But that's not really what's been the style that works in the Overwatch League. It's been unfettered aggression, especially with the tank play. We see the dives in the backline go in so deep, but we do have some subs coming in now for both teams, I believe. Nuss will be coming in for closer as we enter into Junkertown. Both these teams with similar records on Junkertown. 6-3 for London, 5-3 for Seoul. Hey, and we mentioned him. It's kind of just like say his name and he shows up. Wakid is going to come in for Fleta.
That is a fascinating play, though, considering how powerful Widow can be on this map in particular. What do you make of that?
For Junkrat, maybe?
It could be that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's their projectile kind of specialist. Will play mostly projectile heroes for that team. Or maybe, again, it might just be let's try some stuff out. You want to try it out against a team that definitely wants to beat you. Trying stuff out against teams that you should beat maybe doesn't give you the information that you're looking for. So, I mean, that's a possibility. You're definitely going to see Junkrat and Junkertown.
Well, Hex, this is all a quest for information, and it so happens that we have a little bit to give to you about a player called Gambler. We're going to get to know him now.
Gambler, the newest addition to this team.
This guy is known for his shot calling. He's known to have sort of this mathematical precision.
네, 제가 에이펙스에서 뛰었을 때는 LW 블루라는 팀에 있었고 그때도 똑같이 메인 힐러를 맡고 있었습니다. 제가 서울 다이너스티에 들어오게 된 계기는 선수 생활을 시고있을 때 김강진 감독님이 서울 다이너스티에 들어오지 않겠냐는 제안을 해주셨고 저는 테스트를 보고 그 다음에 합격을 해서 들어오게 됐습니다.
Keep your eyes on Gambler if you're a fan today.
His Lucio was always one of his most impressive roles. Here we go.
제가 처음에 팀에 들어왔을 때는 시즌 중반에 들어왔다 보니까 아무래도 팀 합이 이미 맞춰져 있었어요. 근데 저는 메인 오더 자리다 보니까 제가 오더의 중심이 돼야 하는 역할을 해야 됐었고 제가 들어가면은 아예 팀 합이 처음부터 되돌아가는 상황이었는데
우리가 내 생각을 해보니까 한 명 죽었다고 뺄 필요가 없는 것 같아요. 우리 방금상 같은 상황에서.
서울 다이너스티에서 팀에 도움을 줄 수 있는 부분은 여러 가지가 있겠지만 그 중에서도 제가 제일 잘하는 메르시로 팀에 도움을 준 것 같습니다.
Gambler, man, he has been Johnny on the spot with the reses.
유재용 선수한테 배운 점은 즐겁게 게임하는 걸 배운 것 같습니다. 근데 그 루시우를 제일 잘하는 플레이어가 토비 선수라고 생각을 하고 그 토비 선수의 영상을 많이 보면서 배우고 있어요.
Gambler's going big. Found himself 2 kills in the last couple of seconds. Great effort from Seoul. Little bro in the front row, definitely happy about that one.
오버워치 리그를 처음 맞잖아요, 제가. 근데 에이펙스랑 좀 다른 게 오버워치 리그는 뭔가 팬과 선수가 같이 어울리는 그런 게 좀 신기했어요. 입장할 때도 뭐 하이파이브 하면서 입장하는 것도 그렇고 그래서 그게 좀 감명 깊었던 것 같아요.
But a cheeky resurrect from Gambler comes in. Seoul will weather the storm.
이번에 오버워치 리그의 개인적인 목표는 리그 우승이고요. 당연히 그에 맞춰서 열심히 노력해 보도록 하겠습니다.
I mean, Gambler had some playing time with this team, but it's been so hard to find consistency. But hey, you can't help but root for the guy who just wants to learn how to have fun from Jae Hong. Doesn't seem like they've had a lot of fun in the last, this stage particularly.
It's been a bit
but
stressful.
This set's looking good for him.
The man, He is, I mean, it's already the difference in terms of leagues, in terms of how things are run, right? You know, just interacting with the fans. It's true. You know, a lot of these times you got the player signings. I mean, if you have the chance to come here to the studio, guys, definitely do so, because every night, you know, you've got the players out here meeting the fans, doing signings with the fans. It's all about interaction. And, you know, I'm glad to see that, you know, Gambler, he finds that to be an interesting situation to get into, right? Maybe take some of that pressure off of the game when you can really get in there and interact with your fans who are cheering for you.
Yeah, no, it's really nice to be able to have your fans right in the audience there. You know, Shanghai has the hometown advantage. You know,
pretty much.
Even
yeah.
when they're playing against Los Angeles teams, sometime everyone's rooting for them. But everyone's out there. But every team who's here has fans, even though it's localized right now in Los Angeles. There's always jerseys in there, and then we just have like the neutral fans who just show up and like, you know, a team that's not even playing that day. It's like Overwatch, just here. So definitely come on down to the Blizzard Esports Arena in Burbank, California, if you get a chance. We are going to Junkertown now, and Seoul is up 2-1, and a bit of a surprising result over the London Spitfire.
Yes, this is definitely one that was going to be difficult to predict coming into this. You know, Jae Hong on main tank role is a huge shift. Interesting to hear the impact that Gambler has as well. Between the two of them, probably dividing up the calling role in terms of getting in there. So, you know, Jae Hong on that main tank role now all of a sudden can kind of coordinate those dives, make life easier for the team. I mean, we have Wikid coming in right now, so we'll see how this pans out, because yes, okay, Wikid on Junkrat, great. Munchkin is going to be on the Widow by the looks of things, but you're still trying to trade off Fleta on Widow. Wikid's got some big shoes to fill. Yeah. Munchkin as well.
It's interesting because some teams will run Widow from first point to last point and never change off of it. Now, maybe that's not what Seoul plans to do, and Munchkin gives you the versatility to play Widow and Tracer in the same hero. Wikid can also play a Genji if so needed, so maybe Seoul has transitions in mind for different parts of the map and how they want to play it. It could just be part of the ever-evolving experiment that is the Seoul Dynasty. But on defense, this is about as standard as it gets when it comes to Junkertown. You've got both of the boys from Junkertown, and a Junkrat and a Roadhog there. And you've got Orisa as well. Orisa's going to be on both sides. And it's a very similar matchup here from both teams, except they are going to not have a solo support on London.
Yeah, a little bit of change. I'm kind of surprised, you know, it's Junkertown. Well, we already established this last time with the rules not making sense, but also lax, right? Aren't they supposed to be shot on sight? And yet, here we are, you know, Junkrat, Roadhog just running around, doing their thing.
Apparently it's a holiday for security at Junkertown. They continue to push her, draws first blood. Munchkin takes down Urag. Not see exactly where he died if that's a resable position. He's right there, so they will cover for the res. Now we're back at 6v6 for Profit. Oh, just goes down right now.
Liking the pressure coming in there, the counter pressure that is coming in from Seoul Dynasty. When that res is going off, that means that Nuss isn't healing anybody, and so they do fall behind in terms of the heals, and Seoul Dynasty really trying to capitalize on that. Zumba with 2 big kills. Zumba really having a standout performance right now for Seoul Dynasty in this series. Well, always feels like he's there, Johnny on the spot involved.
Hureg had designs on getting behind the whole team, and he got there, and then everyone else died. So he was going for this really long flank. Luckily, there is a caravan to hide behind. So he's going to wait for his team to get in, and this could absolutely be huge. They're going to have no idea he's back there, waiting for the scope, and doesn't hit the headshot, though.
No, those headboxes. Oh, that's so frustrating. Hureg, I mean, he'll hit some headshots. He just needs to get some kills. Well, Munchkin will get caught by Gesture in the end, but there's the nice hook coming in from Guido. Trade 1-for-1. Whole hog thrown into the mix, but Guido not going to be able to capitalize on that with a kill on the Mercy, unfortunately for him. And we will have the tire thrown into the mix with Gesture getting blown up.
Nice hooks going in there, and it might just be too much for Seoul to recover from here as they've taken down a couple of more. Prof get a whole hog, try to find his counterpart in Junkrat right there. But still some presence on the point. That's a nice hook on Guido. And now they're going to have to retreat, or at least around the corner.
Yeah, that could be a big deal here. Trying to close off that angle behind the barriers. Hook does not connect, and hey, we've got the self-destruct chucked in. Not going to find the target, unfortunately, as Gesture will survive. And Jae Hong still going to keep that presence up, contesting on this payload.
Oh, they tried to halt some people into that self-destruct. It does not matter, though, as Badoshin channels the center. Jonak gets himself 2 in London, cleaning up all the kills right now.
Yeah, Jae Hong with nowhere to hide there, unfortunately. You got to be on one side or the other of the barrier, and well, kind of a frying pan and fire situation there. The volley, and then Jae Hong with nowhere to hide.
Charge shot, headshot, Discord, nice Zenyatta play. They're going to come out and contest this, but Whole Hog is there to push them away. And now Guido It's just a big health pool donated to the alt fund of London.
That was a nice interrupt on his ult. But it will be Seoul Dynasty now having to set up the defense here on the second point. Hureg with a missed opportunity there, unfortunately. Might have been able to start off things strong there for Seoul London. Instead, well, now they're going to have to do it the hard way.
London looked like they wanted to take high ground away, but there was a nice retreat from Seoul to deny that. So they're not going to be able to take this high ground immediately. This is why Seoul did not fully commit to going back in on the first point, because you don't want to give up this very good position defensively. This one can be hard to crack. Would not be surprised if we see them transition into something more of a dive after this fight.
Let's see, it's gonna work. Tire right in. There you go, Hureg. Not long for this world. He's gone, and Guido still alive on the point, taking the fight to him here. Seoul Dynasty, I like it. The aggression still going in as Prophet gets yanked into his death. They'll fall one after another. Gesture surely gonna die next. Yes, Jaehong will be the one to collect that kill.
Take a breather. They are going to D-mech though late, so Fury is going to be staggered. He is out of mech, and they're just leaving him as such. No transition just yet. Hureg did come back on the Widow, but Prophet has moved over to the Genji, so it's kind of this weird mix of styles right now, an amalgamation of compositions.
That was a big delay on Fury, but he'll get brought right back to life again, so that's a fresh mech. And the shot. And Munchkin, very patient from him just holding those angles, unfortunately does not get rewarded.
Not even pulling the trigger there was a little bit questionable. Thought he could have at least taken a shot at him right there. Meanwhile, Prophet's trying to flank Munchkin, make him uncomfortable. He's gonna have heals up there.
Whoa, what a shot! No headshot though, or it is the headshot, but no kill. Not charged up enough. The halt into the self-destruct combo for Fury though. That's a feel-good moment for London Spitfire if ever there was one, and they will make some progress with this payload. Actually,
Halt into self-destruct has been absolutely enormous, especially on second point where people are hiding behind barriers, but there is always an open angle to get that halt through and pull people out into the open. Fury's going to add another couple to his belt. Fury has won this fight entirely for London.
He's been going ham. 6 final blows now. A few of them off of that ult, sure, but let's see if he can get it done the other way as well, as Zumba is going to go ahead and contest on the point one after another. Jaehong, however, gets stopped before he can get out through the doorway. Prophet dashing through him. We will have the tire getting thrown in. Unfortunately, it will get deleted immediately by Hureg. Good shot there. And it's Gesture now in the thick of things, but not for long. Wakid is there to remove him.
That's it. Interesting position to put that supercharger right in front of the shield. It gets taken out with ease. Hunter's going to continue to beat up on Seoul right now. They've only got a couple left. They're trying to stall this out, but this is just stall. That's all it is. Jaehong will fall. They will grab second point. About 2.5 minutes to go.
2.5 minutes, though. Not a whole honking lot of time to work with. Going into the third point, into the bend.
It's been interesting that Hureg stayed on this Widow and last point. And you can stay on Widow, especially when the other team has one. So that's probably why he's going to use it, especially this last point. An uncontested Widow on either side is a game-changing aspect that you have to play around. So I do like that Prophet is on the Genji now. We showed you his stats earlier. He's got Blade ready too.
We'll have the immediate fight. Prophet. He's got the Blade. That will be the game changer here if he can find his targets out in the open, but they're doing a good job of getting spread out. Although, as I say that, there we go. Guido, gonna be the first to receive the Blade to the face. Munchkin getting dashed through, survives. No, Fury is there to capitalize. Well done, Fury. And Fury with a second kill on Jaehong as well. Seoul Dynasty getting forced to give ground.
Fury can often be the forgotten man on this team, but Divas are so important right now in the Overwatch League. He's won that fight with his self-destruct, was able to clean it up. And the desk had mentioned it earlier today. There's a lot of plays that Divas are making that it's just simply really hard to see. It's so much about positioning. I mean, they attack, they defend, they do everything that you need them to do. You have to be so versatile to be a top-level Diva.
It's all about that read on the game, being Johnny on the spot. Wakid trades it, Gesture and Guido both out of it. And Hureg, there's the shot on the Gambler. It needs the follow-up, though. Gambler survives. 55 seconds left on the clock here for London Spitfire to make it work. And they are getting forced out in the open, hiding from that self-destruct. Hureg, however, not able to quite capitalize. He is getting body shots. He's softening them up, but he needs to manage to figure out how to get a kill here.
I mean, this was the time that they had to either get Hureg to get several kills in a row to continue to push in, or they had to reset. Because they lost Nuss so early, they did have time though. 30 seconds left is going to be their last push to try to slam it home.
Let's see, can they make it happen here? High ground occupied now by London Spitfire. And it's going to be the counter engage coming in from Jaehong, who will challenge on that high ground. Prophet, he's got the Blade in just a moment. needs to get that going right now, 99% and counting. And now it is going to be about finding that high value target here. Can he get on top of the opposing Zen? Eventually he will remember how to wall climb. That's good. Parting shot onto Jaehong as Jaehong goes in for the counter engage. Wakid hanging out on the high ground. Not exactly where you want to leave him, but as far as the cart is concerned, Seoul Dynasty, is there anybody here who will actually be able to touch in time? Yes, Fury, the hero yet again for the London Spitfire, nearly ending it. They will be able to turn it around as now Prophet will find his targets.
That was so close to not even happening. They reward Fury by transcending him on the cart. He stays alive through that. Zumba is the only one alive now, but that is short-lived. And millimeters away, we had the benefit of the overhead. I'm looking for a body, Finally, Fury flies in, touches the cart at the last second. London avoids what has become habit for them.
It was about to get a bit out of hand there. It was about to kind of get in there where it was like, you know, again, no.
And they finish out Junkertown. It's a long map. A lot of teams get stymied right before that first bend in the last point there. That U-bend is very difficult for teams to take. There's a lot of defensive high ground, a lot of angles to take, but they will push it home. And now we will see what Seoul wants to run. London would love to, like, well, I mean, first of all, they have to win this map, but they would have loved to not have to go to map 5. They're 2-9 on Oasis. It has been the bane of their existence.
It is the real struggle for them. So if this does go to map 5, things will look grim, but Seoul Dynasty have been looking very good themselves. So countdown will begin. We have a minute for the teams to get prepared and for the defense, more importantly, to get set up over here outside of the payload, outside of the spawn. But it is going to be, I mean, what do we have? What can London do here? Can they get the hard defense set up and take this to a map 5?
No one running anything really out of the ordinary. Junkertown has settled into a very set kind of meta on first point, very tank heavy, pick oriented, halts and hooks around the corner, and then you let your Widows do work. The most interesting part of Junkertown first is just how big it is, and that's why Widows can take such aggressive angles. A lot of this is guessing. Where's that other Widow going to be? It's a lot of hide and seek. There's so many angles. You saw early on, Hureg was a mile behind this team, and he was looking to get shots in. Unfortunately, his team had died beforehand, but you almost never know where it's going to come from. Now, this is what I was kind of wondering with Seoul. Okay, Guido's switching back and forth. Now Gambler is on a Reinhardt as well. So some last-second switches, never mind, all the way back. I thought they might run the Hanzo with this because Seoul is one of the teams that first started running with double sniper early on, but instead they just go back to the old standard Junkertown push.
The Junkertown push. No pirate ship to be found here. The seas are clear, even though it is a fine day. And well, no Bastion for the Bastion fans, but it will be still plenty of bloodshed here as Munchkin is already taking a bit of a duel on the flank. Doshin gonna go for the peek. Could go for the greedy hook here. He's got Hureg right behind him as well, and Doshin looking for the flank. Not going to connect instead. He does get a bullet, and there we go. Munchkin lays Hureg low.
He died in a spot that would pull Nuss away from the rest of his team to go resurrect, so Nuss has no designs of going back there. They do get a hook onto Zumba, though. That's nice. Munchkin gets another kill, though. Munchkin has been so good this entire series. I mean, his Tracer has been up to snuff. His Widow is now coming alive as well.
Oh yes, he is definitely a thorn in the Spitfire's side right now.
Seoul takes it with ease. Absolute ease. And now I wonder if they're going to try to pressure this. Is Munchkin going to go forward on this and try to finish his kill, deny the high ground defense? Yeah, they're in a great spot right now. He's got tanks with him. They're up front. They're pushing so far forward. It's only Gambler back on the card.
This is fantastic. This is going to be so difficult now for London Spitfire to make their way out. Now look at this. Jaehong's got the hard point defense on the high ground, exactly where London want to be.
They're not going to know where Munchkin is either. This is an angle that not a lot of people take, but smart to drop the shield immediately. Still no eyes on him. He's just getting shot after shot.
Not quite finding the kills, though, unfortunately for him. This looked like his team had fallen back to the payload as well, but that did buy some time. And well, Seoul have a whole lot to work with as well. 4 minutes 40 still on the clock. Wakid throws the tire right into the middle of it, but Prophet cancels out a tire with a tire of his own. Okay then, ult v ult, and it works out for Prophet, and he gets the kill on Munchkin as well. Still making progress on this payload, however, Seoul Dynasty. London Spitfire need to contest.
They've got the Valkyrie up, so there's a lot of healing so far. Munchkin has been brought back into the mix, but Guido just walks onto Gesture. Oh, the Valkyrie over top. Gesture is just going to laugh at him.
Yeah, Prophet having a field day with that. A big target to just throw nades at.
London,
they thought they were friends.
The London defense has stabilized. Ureg popped the Infrasight, so they're going to wait that one out. Munchkin can come back with an Infrasight of his own. The man I am looking at is Zumba and Fury, actually. Self-destructs are very good on this point. I think Zumba has a better chance at this. We'll see if we get a self-destruct into Halt, pull them off the bridge into that destruction.
That would be the stylish play. And it is possible, as they are going to go charging straight in. Right up the gut. Munchkin on a bit of a flank right now. Prophet eventually going to find him, and yeah, Prophet just throwing nades at Munchkin, dropping him to about half HP, but it will be the straight fight here in the hallways, trying to force their way through here. Seoul Dynasty, Jester's supercharger gets yanked immediately. 3 quick kills coming through here for Seoul Dynasty, though, and it's not meant to be, Nuss. You're not going to get the res off in their face. Not happening.
Impossible to really tell what happened in that fight. That was a 6v6 in one of the smallest hallways in all of Overwatch. Self-destructs came out on both sides, but all you really need to know is that Soul came out on top of that one. There was a tire towards the end from Prophet. It got 2, but it simply wasn't enough. Soul continues to push. We'll see what happened here. Maybe we'll get the perspective of the tire. Maybe it'll show us something here.
Oh, that is cool.
It goes around. That is the Prophet tire, but it was all for naught. All the kills had come through. Soul setting a very good time here. They've had over 2 minutes more than London did on their final push.
Yeah, exactly. They made an excellent time. Hureg with the headshot on Munchkin, who got a little greedy there. So we'll be London kind of sticking together as this killer unit. Hureg is now allowing them to see through walls. The res goes off for Gambler, bringing Munchkin back into the fight. So Munchkin, now it's the time to win the duel versus Hureg. Or Zumba can just go and charge himself. Looking for it. There we go, the trade, 1 for 1. It's a 5v5 fight now, and they're looking for that res again. The body block is there, and the res will happen for Nuss, but that means that Gesture, without the heals, will die.
Another fire in the hole for Prophet. They're going to force out the D-Mac, but Zumba's in a good position to get right back into the Mac. Meanwhile, the Progress has continued to push here on the cart.
Oh boy, this is awkward. Doshin! All Doshin can do is be like, Nuss, no! And yeah, he just dies a horrible death. Don't leave me! Nuss, I'm sorry. Doshin, I'm sorry.
Heroes never die is just a slogan. It's not a way of life. Sometimes heroes do die. You gotta save yourself. Able to get out alive, but Ocean will have Transcendence for this next fight, and they better use it. They don't have a whole lot to work with here. 3 minutes left, and Soul does not need much more.
Yeah, this is right where Munchkin wants to be, though. Right out of the open, all these long sight lines to work with. Just pound damage in. And in the meantime, his team, they are going to work. Zumba hanging on by a thread will make it work. Fury, self-destruct in the hallway, is not going to find a kill, but Prophet will manage to remove Jaehong, and they have managed to catch him out. Can they get the follow-up? Yes, Hureg! Finally taken out of this fight.
It bought him a little bit of space at least, so now the respawns should come in, and they have stabilized because of that. And that was very nice because the attention that Hureg brought back with them, they all had to focus back on the point. You can't ignore it. Widow behind you on the high ground, and now London has bought themselves a ton of space to be able to push out on this.
Oh, Munchkin's pissed about that one. That would have been the monster kill if he managed to catch him out in the open like that, Nuss.
If I'm Soul, I try a back cap here. London has not been a team known for their awareness of objectives.
Who do you get in there, though? I guess you got to throw Zumba, just with the mobility.
Yeah, maybe, and then you could always self-destruct if you need be. You put a tire on it, right, so that everyone has to hide away, then put someone down in the corner, but I just love back caps. Zumba gets in there, takes out the supercharger, but the blade's out for Prophet.
And now Prophet, this is perfect. Right in the hallway, nowhere to hide. Massive AoE damage dealt by him. Gonna slow things up here for the Seoul Dynasty, who have 1:50 left on the clock to get the job done and tie it up 3-3, and they would have an edge. They would have an advantage on the remainder of the map if they were able to get it done within 40 seconds, but that's a tall order at this point.
Well, now that the cart has moved back, there is no chance of a back cap, and Somewhere Soon is crying. They've been pushed very far back. Supercharger's out, though.
Max damage. Well, deleted. That tire's not getting anywhere. Notion is there. Zumba, though, could be looking for that self-destruct. Might be holding on to it, though, just for the sake of a fresh mech as the Halt comes out. We will have Nuss flying high right now with the Valk, keeping the teammates alive. And there's the trance. This is everything getting thrown into this battle now. Zumba still with the self-destruct. What? No, gets body blocked by Jaehong!
Did not...
What is that? Wait, what?
Meanwhile, Soul has continued to push her. They got a couple of late kills. I thought they needed a full reset, but they were able to battle that one out. Now, not a whole lot left for London. They're making wholesale changes as well. Hureg Thinks about the McCree, goes to the Tracer instead. Gesture is now on the Winston. They're going full dive here. Prophet's got a blade. It has to be big.
Has to be big, and he's certainly going to deliver. There we go. No support's dead. Follow it up with Munchkin too. And Prophet once again manages to deliver for London Spitfire. 30 seconds left on the clock here for Seoul Dynasty. They are getting into desperation times here. And Jaehong is going to be swapping over to the Winston.
They have Transcendence as well. That's about it. Perhaps Wakid can get to a tire, and perhaps that tire can deal with the Valkyrie on the other side of things. That's the only ult that London has. Should that Valkyrie come off and stay alive, but don't get there. Preemptive Valk, super smart by Nuss.
Whoa, and Guido, yeah, Trance is going to get thrown in. Has to stay alive here. You can't afford to die this late in the game. Gambler is doing the best he can to get that Valk online, but it is going to be a tall order, especially when your team are just getting splattered across the walls. Fury, relentless in his pursuit. And well, it will be Munchkin now going for the stick, finds a kill on Prophet, but too little here as the rest of London Spitfire are surviving, and there will be no Seoul Dynasty bodies on the point to keep it alive. Well, it will be a map 5, Hex.
We've got ourselves a series. Munchkin has played out of his mind. There's been so many surprising plays and players coming into this with a surprising roster from Seoul Dynasty. Interesting composition out of them as well. Just the guys are putting out there. But at the end of the day, the best DPS in the Overwatch League come up big when it matters most, and Prophet has embodied that. We'll see if he can actually pull it off when we head to Oasis right after the break.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League. T-Mobile, America's fastest network ever. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
everybody from the break. It is going to be a game 5 now between the London Spitfire. Okay, Hex, I see you shaking your head.
I just didn't expect
I'm just doing this because I've got my producer kind down in my ear, and I'm just like getting riled up and all timed up, and we're going live, and there it is. And welcome back, everybody.
For the most part, I got blinders on. I block you out. I just try to,
I just do things over here.
there's always a whole lot of shenanery happening on this side of the vision. Yeah. No, I'm actually a little surprised we're going to 5. I really thought that London was going to win this, and then when I saw the lineup from Seoul, I was like, okay, you know, they're trying things out. I get it. It makes sense for Seoul right now to be trying to work through things. London's trying to work through things as well, and now we're on 5. And I mentioned earlier, you know, Seoul has exercised some demons by beating London, having to go toe-to-toe with them. London's demons are them versus Oasis. They're 2-9 on the map, and they've not looked very good at it. It's been a little bit rough for them on that particular control map. London versus Control, overall not good. London versus Oasis, yeesh.
And Oasis is usually a good thing. You're in the middle of the desert, you're dying of thirst, you find the Oasis. Usually it's tied to survival.
Their Oasis has been a mirage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Either it's a mirage or it's been poisoned.
It's like the old Looney Tunes cartoons. They see an oasis and they dive in and they're gulping down water, and then it all fades away and they're just chugging down sand.
London and sand isn't good for engines. You know, the Spitfire.
I know.
We're just going deep with it. Yeah, you get sand into the engine, everything falls apart. I mean, water too. Actually.
Yeah, you sound like you aced shop class.
Well, guys, you know, we are, there is actually a tech problem, so they're trying to fix that out right now, which is nice to say because it really doesn't happen often. So when we do get the vamp, it is actually kind of fun because we get to just come up with random stuff to say.
Yeah,
So
I mean, but
cool
like,
with
see, but now that you put the pressure on that we're coming up with random stuff to say, my mind just went
Oh, Hex, you see?
completely
Can't
blank.
think too hard about it.
I don't think too hard about anything.
Not that we do anything.
Yeah, it does nothing. It's just a hamster on a wheel in my head. And now he's tired and he fell off.
Yeah, I was about to say, I could get it squeaking from here. Just to have a hamster. Ran all night on a squeaky wheel.
Yeah, I mean, we are going to have some subs too. It's also one of the reasons that we're having some tech issues. They got to bring in their whole new setup, and we had some tech issues earlier that we flawlessly guided everyone through. But you had no idea, right? So, but I mean, do you expect Farah's coming in here? I mean, or do you
it's
see
Oasis,
Widows?
right?
Yeah, it's Oasis.
And so we kind of do expect to have at least one team decide, hey, Farah's pretty cool. You know,
Right.
a lot of elevation. Rockets are cool.
I just want to,
a lot of things.
I just want to see University, because like Reinhardt gets played on University. You almost never see Reinhardt anywhere else except University.
Reinhardt went to University for one day, realized that shop class wasn't just destroying everything with a hammer, it was building things, and he was like, I'm done, I'm out of this.
I've got a dwarf who builds my stuff. There is no need. I will take an extra hour of gym class. Toby is coming in for Gambler right now. Fleta will return as well. So I wonder if this is for a Pharah Mercy. Wakid can play the Pharah. Fleta can play the Pharah. I don't know. I don't think you take Munchkin off a Tracer at this point, and you need Tracer on nearly every map, especially Control. So that's a possibility. He's been playing very good on the Tracer. You know, like I mentioned, he's been overlooked by a lot of the other Tracer players, but he's been very consistent today.
Yeah, no, I mean, even on Junkertown, rather, hitting moving targets too, as well as stationary targets. The man can do it all, Hex.
Yes.
He is on point.
Those are the only two things you need to do to be in the Overwatch League. Hit both moving and stationary targets.
Stationary targets. So you can pull that off. Yeah. You're on your way here, guys. All right, it is going to be Oasis. Map 5 to settle it all between the London Spitfire and the Seoul Dynasty, who are looking to cement, well, you know, that's the thing. Is the throne of the Dynasty made of fool's gold or the real deal? That's what we're about to find out right now.
You mean Iron Pyrite?
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, London Spitfire, they're scratching away at it right now. They're about to get to the bottom of it, though.
Yeah, take a bite out of it, see if it actually bends in your mouth. Gold is soft. But we are going to my favorite stage here. I like these outliers that it plays differently than the other two. We are going to kick it off on University. And so far, we're going to see what these teams are queuing into. It's hard to buy into it a little too early because teams are known to switch at the very last second. But if these stay, it's going to be a complete clash of styles, as it looks like mostly a dive composition with a Lucio variant here because it's Control. You want to fight over that mid-fight. Seoul Dynasty has gone into something tank-heavy, and we're going to see the Jae-Hong Reinhardt. When I think of top Reinhardt play, I think of Jae-Hong.
Every day of the week. You know, the top Reinhardt's fraggy, etc. You know, they go to sleep at night wishing that someday they could be as good as Jae-Hong on Reinhardt.
Triple tank and Moira versus a pure dive composition here. Seoul Dynasty running the tank heavier, which has been favored on this map. Dive can be good against it. You want them to set up in a static position, but that's why you're not running an Orisa. Orisa's very easy dive targets. Now they're going to have a little more mobile, just a lot of meat on that ground.
They're just moving together right now. Full on death ball of Doshin. Unfortunately for him, he's found out what that means. He's dead. Zumba runs him down. Jaehong heading back over here, making sure that the backline can't get pressured too heavily. And while he is dropping dangerously low, but that is obviously going to just be more meat for the ultimate. Guido, man, he's at 85% already.
I love what they're doing. They're just going around the entire map with the Lucio speed boost and chasing down people who don't have that kind of mobility. But Ocean will get some revenge, though. Takes down Toby, who was the engine to that Slammy Lance.
Yeah, there we go. 75%, 75 energy, rather, going for it. Prophet has had time to farm up that ult, and he will get the blade into action, only finding the one kill, doing some damage to Jaehong, though, so that's going to soften him up. But the heals are just too good, Guido, so long as he stays alive. The ambulance is just revving it up.
They're just chasing people down. Jaehong channeling his inner fraggy. What is right click? What's a shield? What kind of coward needs a shield? I have a hammer, and he's going to have the Earth Shatter already. No changes just yet from London as they continue to run this dive composition. You run it at least once more to try to get some ultimates in here, try to get some action going. You gotta dodge this Shatter here.
Jaehong is loving this. And yes, you do. Bubble is there. We will have the self-destruct thrown into the mix. Gesture finds Fleta again. Hureg will take down Jaehong, so no Shatter for this fight. Munchkin is working his way up to the grab, though. The longer you can stay alive, so they'll have a lot of the game-breaking ults coming into this next one for Seoul Dynasty. You'll have the sound barrier up online for Toby pretty much, as well as Guido with the Coalescence.
A lot of pressure is going to be on the counter tanks on the other side. Can Gesture perhaps drop a bubble in front of the Shatter and block it? Can Fury eat up that Graviton? Because those are fight-winning ultimates if you can pull them off. Graviton maybe not so much in this situation because the Transcendence is up for Bedosian.
Thinking they're going to be inside. Oh, the nice knockback, and there we go. A couple of kills chucked off the side, at least one of them. We will have Munchkin sent into the depths. Jaehong still hanging in here, and yet another one, too. What's going on, Gesture? Did they miss the memo? It's not great to stand next to the edge of a cliff when you've got an angry Winston there?
Just Gesture as well. I mean, he does not miss juggles. You're going to get bopped off, so, you know, at least they didn't throw any ults into that because they were all skydiving off the edge of the university there. A little base jumping action, no parachutes required, but Seoul has banked up several ultimates now. Meanwhile, they had to use Transcend during that fight, so Grab is a fight-winning ultimate. Again, keep an eye on Fury. Maybe he can eat it up.
Oh, nice stick again. Hureg delivers these tanks. Big, juicy targets for Hureg to shred. Finds 2 kills, and that's going to set it up here for Prophet to behead Toby. High-value target right there. Fleta yet again will get overwhelmed by Gesture. And so far, London Spitfire doing an excellent job of stabilizing. They've tied it up, and they're pulling ahead in the lead.
The last 2 fights can be summed up. You can't use ult if you're dead, and they're just being so aggressive that Seoul cannot set up these ultimates where they want to use them. Munchkin's got to be careful because you don't want to lose that Graviton Surge. Jaehong's just been pulse bombed several times and then knocked around, so they're not giving him any targets either. They know that these ultimates are good against clumped up teams, and they're all over the place.
And they're not finding the kills here. That's making a difference. Seoul Dynasty need to start turning up as Guido is there to shine the light, show the way. And well, it is going to be Prophet right now, moving in. Once again, Doshin with the trance, going to be in here to cancel out the damage, although there's some big burst, and that's going to be enough to lay Prophet out of the fight. And Zumba will find the D-Mech on Fury. But it is going to be the flip here for Seoul Dynasty as London Spitfire reached 99%. Seoul Dynasty, they have to hold perfectly from here on out, and they still have Jaehong shattered.
But it's all they have. They used everything else in there, and it was so impressive that Bedosian used Transcendence 2 fights in a row. That's so good for Zenyatta to be able to do all that damage and healing. And now London can use any sort of ultimates that they want. Hureg is lining up a Pulse Bomb, probably meant for Jaehong again.
Yeah, they nearly got the 6-pack, and you're right. Look at that. Spotted him. Sees him trying to get some kind of reaction out of it. Can move right into the back of him and goes for it. Sticks. Fleta finds the kill, or rather Hureg finds the kill on Fleta. What's that about? Jaehong paced Prophet up against the wall, but the kills are already there for London Spitfire. This is a winnable situation. They will flip the point, and now it's all on Seoul Dynasty here to keep it alive.
They're knocking Jaehong into the corner, though. He's not able to get anything out of it. Gesture has shown up absolutely huge, and for now, dive beats tanks. London will take University.
Nuss was saying exactly that there. Where, you know, it's just like, guys, if we just dive them, they're gonna die. They're not gonna get to use those ults. That's pretty much a game plan, game set, match.
Well, it's a slower setup as well. They're trying to get in position to use these ults. You want to get high value out of them. I mean, no one really likes the idea of using a solo Graviton on someone or a solo Shatter. Sometimes that's what's needed, though. And it was a very good job by London to play around that. I mean, you're not going to get the giant value ultimates because your targets simply aren't there. Winston's in the air. You're not throwing it at D.Va. That's not happening. Both of the DPS are out in no man's land, hanging out and beating up the rest of your tanks. They had ultimates up all the time because the DPS were able to farm those pulse bombs. And then, you know, just little style points with that fadeaway pulse bomb onto Fleta, who obviously didn't have his Wraith form available because he got blown up by pulse bomb.
That was a bit of a shocker right there. Not common at all. Well, we'll have a bit of a change here from London Spitfires, who signs Sombra is going to be the hero of the day, as far as he's concerned, to end the streak here for Seoul Dynasty, or at least to end this story, this chapter. Fleta hanging out as well, Sombra as well, so they are going to be mirrored, although Munchkin will be the one changing it up a little bit with some McCree play.
And Toby also on the Lucio here instead. It might be his best hero, his most practiced hero at the very least. Is very good Lucio. Going to give them the speed they need to move around, and the AoE healing on the point can also be great at stall as well. Guido, I feel we haven't seen a whole lot of him in the left side of the kill feed, but he opens it up with a kill on a Gesture.
Yeah, solid. Munchkin is there with the follow-up, and Munchkin really showing up, although he will get traded immediately. This is going tit for tat right now. Although we will have the 3 alive, it's going to be a bunch of squishies. They need their tanks to get back into this fight here. Seoul Dynasty. Gesture eventually falls to Fleta. But there is still a high presence here for London Spitfire on the point. Seoul Dynasty. With Jaehong getting back into the fight, this might be enough.
No control for either team. Yeah, that's what I was talking about with Lucio. It can be so annoying on this point, both on this structure, inside and out. Just as keeping a presence, keeping a body there. He stayed alive and was able to heal his team. A Transcendence thrown in from London. They have EMP ready too.
Yeah, Fleta is going to be setting it up as soon as that trance wears off. He's looking for those targets, and he is going to find them. Munchkin gets the kill on Nuss, though, and it's just EMPs all over the place. Nobody's allowed to have any fun on this point right now.
No abilities allowed. Notion will fall. Soul gets the better of this and should eventually take first control here on City Center. Trying to put some progress on it now, but it just shows you not only is it hard to take control, it's going to be hard to retake control. You have to have a very decisive team fight win. Unable to get it with the EMP, they're going to have to wait for that one to recharge.
From Munchkin there, that was a nice one.
I've been so impressed with this play today on every hero. Munchkin has really stepped up to the plate and been the hard DPS carry for this team. Fleta's been in and out of the lineup, but Munchkin's been consistent.
There, that is key. Flashbang there from Munchkin to slow things down, but that's not going to stop Gesture from just wreaking havoc yet again. Gesture, multi-kills on a Primal. Well, he will eventually find the kill here on Zumba. They will get the flip, although Fleta doing the best that he can to just buy time as it is. The cloak eventually has to wear off.
And you talk about super consistency on the other side, and for London Spitfire throughout the entirety of Overwatch League, the most consistent performers on that team have been Prophet and Gesture. Prophet was good the first couple maps. Gesture probably won them University based on how he played against the other tanks. He never let Jaehong have a comfortable Shatter. We'll see how this one goes as London is taking control of the point, counting their way up.
Man, how insanely frustrating that you're not able to get the kill on Prophet there. And you lose Fleta in the mix. Slows things down further here for Seoul Dynasty, who are currently banking ults, but then that's the name of the game for London Spitfire as well. Nuss doesn't have the Valk. The Doshin will have the Trance coming up for this next fight. There is an opening here for Seoul, however. If they can get Fleta in position with that EMP, things could turn nasty real quick for London. But London, they know this. They're super spread out right now. They do not want to have a monster EMP happen for Fleta.
Now, if you want to EMP this team, you're going to have to translocate into them and then hope that you can get out alive. Deflected attempt right there. Pulse bomb coming in for Prophet. It's got to be now. Does not find the McCree, but does force out the Transcendence at the very least. Hureg's got to be licking his lips now because he will have EMP momentarily. EMP into Deadeye, but they have a Transcend on the other side. Hureg dies.
Last split second there for Hureg to die, and he manages to get it. Munchkin with the fan, the hammer on Gesture as well. Massive bullets in, and they are still contesting this point. London Spitfire continuing to extend their lead. If they can get up to 70-75%, things are going to be looking good. And well, right now it's going to be a tall order for Seoul Dynasty to flip the point. There's just too many bodies here for the London Spitfire.
Very good kill, very good stall. They were able to take down Nuss, but I don't think they have enough right now to be able to push into the Spitfire. A cute little play there too, as Fury was recalling his mech. He had a bodyguard. Prophet was just running circles around him, making sure no one was going to kill his pilot D.Va before that mech came down. It is not just tanks who peel for DPS, it can be the other way around as well.
Be right back.
Oh, indeed.
EMP ready.
Yeah, Hureg looking for it. There we go, throws it in there. I mean, just make sure you get Zumba out of the fight immediately. The sound barrier still gets committed in by Toby, however, and it did manage to clip up 3 players, but Zumba dies. Guido could be soon to follow, and Prophet right now, he's on the hunt.
This is huge. Look, Seoul has to find something here or it is over. 99-0. They're already up 1 map. Prophet and Hurek take down 2. Desperation time. Can Munchkin find anything here? Toby, Guido down. London has very well done it on Oasis.
Yeah, they've turned it around in the end. 2-0. Clean win in the end for London. Spitfire on what should be one of their weakest maps, if not their weakest map in the pool.
Yeah, it has been their weakest map by a long shot, so huge for them. I think it's one of those very odd sets that both teams have to come out feeling pretty decent about it. It was going to be a benchmark test for both squads. Seoul played better than I think expectations would dictate, especially granted the roster that they feel today. London able to still win this set, exercise some demons on Oasis, and Gesture remains to be one of the best Winstons in the entire league. His play on University, his 3K there on City Center. I think Gesture's play entirely won them Oasis here.
With the help of the others on the roster. And, well, congratulations to Seoul for ending the streak, finally winning versus London. We're going to hand it over to the desk now and hear what they have to say about the final series of the day.
Thank you, gentlemen, for that one. And yes, while they were able to take some games off of the Spitfire, it will ultimately be the boys from London who come out with the victory. So congratulations to them, and a lot to really dive into. So we might as well just jump right into the highlights here and break this one down. Bren, Sideshow, we had a, we had a bit of a game here. This was a good game to close this day out.
It was. Jaehong proving as well that he can play a range of tank heroes. He's just gonna... some people, when they begin learning a hero, only play what they're comfortable with. Others just play whatever the team needs. That's fantastic, isn't it? But Hurek still just slips away. And then Fletter dominated the Widow matchup anytime it was happening. They went over to Ruins as well. The guy was on fire. He is, we were talking about, is he an MVP candidate? If they continue to enable him like this, and Jaehong ends up being a really capable main tank, and they can get the synergy down, Fletter's going to return back to this kind of MVP status, I think.
Yes, but they didn't use him here for Junkertown, and they actually took him out. I mean, I said earlier as well, off camera, that Fletter is the Fletter of Overwatch. Now, that doesn't make much sense to a lot of people, but the way I look at it is that is the benchmark that people need to get to, the Fletter level. There's only one Fletter in Overwatch, and that's him. So he's the Fletter of Overwatch.
So how can he...
Again, Golden Boy, it's the ravings of a madman.
All I'm saying is, I'm just trying to understand insanity. You know what I'm saying?
Don't do it.
They didn't run him in this match, and it's been kind of a bit of a recurring theme that they tend to prioritize the fact that Munchkin can play the Tracer, even though he only played a tiny amount of it here on the very final defense.
It's a question mark.
Rather, the very final push. And the Seoul Dynasty normally are very good at Junkertown, but this time Prophet went mental. Prophet on the Genji on Junkertown was tearing them to pieces. And then we got a treat on the final match.
We just talk about the fact that we had Jaehong Reinhardt, we had Jaehong on Winston, Jaehong on Orisa. Okay, he's the main tank.
But Hex mentioned in this cast towards the end there that Gesture won them this map, and I agree. The man was slamming them off the map. He treated Oasis as one gigantic pub, and he wanted them leaving the vicinity as fast as possible. And it was just unbelievable.
Whacking a bunch of Rens out at closing time.
Exactly. It's like, it's 5 a.m., you have to leave. Get out of Oasis right now. He did not want anyone to be near him. And he really did put the team on his back in this game, I feel like, alongside Prophet, who we've mentioned before.
Yes, and this is the difference between someone who's a capable main tank that is kind of a role player and facilitates a different playstyle, like we've seen from Jaehong this match, where, yes, Seoul Dynasty look better, and he is, in some sense, kind of the difference maker for them, because it allowed them to play this more Fletter-centric style. But it's night and day when you look at Gesture's individual mechanical skill. He's up there with guys like Fisher, guys like Gamzu, Fate, being able to control his primal rage in that kind of way and take control of a fight. And Jaehong couldn't do that, but it was still a good look for the Seoul Dynasty overall, much better than they were before. Because before they were just so indecisive. You're like, you have a W key, use it, go forwards, mush, mush. Get out there, And so I like this.
Okay, so real quick, before we move on, I want to do like a little report card here. You have to grade Ryu Jaehong's performance as a main tank for the Seoul Dynasty. Where will you put him? Who wants to go first? So give him a grade, like a high school grade, A+,
So
B+.
we don't, in the UK, we don't do that.
Really?
Yeah, we do a different system.
No. We do. Brent's just never been to school.
Okay, that's what I'm saying,
As you
man.
can tell.
Yeah.
All right, so then Brent, you're excluded. Josh?
I'm street smart, though.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
I give
He's
him
on
like
the
what's a passing grade? A C? A C
Yeah, sure.
I'd probably
say
give him
C.
like a B- or something. You know, he's definitely helping everybody else in the class improve, but he hasn't put enough time yet into getting his own grades up there.
Yeah.
I think there's definite potential, though. You got to say, like, if the guy can become a superstar on support, then he can probably learn main tank. And from the sound of it, like, the scrim results are probably going pretty well for him to be in that position over Miro or Cookie. So I think this is a good look for the Seoul Dynasty moving forwards. They certainly played a lot better as a team today, even if Jae-Hong wasn't on the level of Gesture.
You know, you do kind of look like a professor, so I'll take it.
There you go.
You know, I think it's a good one.
Yeah.
Professor sideshow.
I'll bring
know?
like stamps, smiley face rubber stamps in. I'll
Yes.
stamp your notes.
That's what we need to do. That's what we need to do. That's quality content right there. But you know what else is quality? Our player of the match, sponsored by Omen by HP. It's going to be Profit from the London Spitfire. And for two reasons. Profit was out there making it rain. This dude just never ceases to amaze me.
And I said at the beginning of the game that Gesture would be teaching Miro how to play main tank. And it's Gesture and Profit that have that originally created this duo style of a DPS player, normally on Tracer, sometimes on Genji, and the main tank. And they go in together and they have such beautiful synergy together. They rip teams apart just as a duo. And I could see Jae-Hong and Munchkin trying to work like that, and certainly more so than Miro and Munchkin did before. But really, the OG, the original guy, was Profit,
Right.
and he is tearing things up, can play every hero.
That's the impressive aspect of Profit, is the fact that he can play Genji, can play Tracer to very high levels, which not many players can do. You think of good Tracer players, normally they are just a sole Tracer specialist. Sabiobi, Striker. Profit, he can play a lot of different variety of roles, which makes him very valuable to his team, and, you know, in a lot of senses, you can really start to build that roster around him.
So you could say he's very profitable for his
Absolutely.
squad.
Yeah.
You like that?
You keep putting that hand there, I'm going to grab it every time.
I'm okay with
Every time I'm going to grab
And I'm
it.
okay with this. This
There you
doesn't
go.
bother me
It's
at all.
2018,
Doesn't
baby.
bother me at all.
It's
All right,
2018.
while we embrace, let's take a look at the Stage 3 standings because going into the last day of matches, Boston, the New York Excelsior, as well as the LA Valiant, are sitting comfortably in the top 3 spots. But we've got awesome matches for you guys tomorrow, and we have to find out who will lock that 4th place seed. And one of those matches are going to be very, very critical, because if the Philadelphia Fusion can defeat the Los Angeles Valiant 4-0 tomorrow, they will tie the Gladiators in both match wins and map wins. And since they haven't played each other this stage, we actually have a bonus tiebreaker match that will be taking place here. That's actually pretty exciting. Never been done before.
No, that's fantastic as well.
I'm sure League Ops is very excited. You know?
But the crucial thing there is, that's so difficult for the Philly Fusion to be able to take a 4-0 over the LA Valiant. Valiant have been playing pretty well, started out on that crazy undefeated streak alongside Boston. Then they've dropped off a little bit, but Philly haven't looked that great. They got taken to a map 5 against Shanghai.
Shaky.
So very, very difficult for them. Gladiators, even though the fate isn't in their own hands, can kind of feel decent about that.
And then tomorrow, it is The Decision. Except instead of it starring LeBron James, it's just going to star the Boston Uprising.
You make all these references.
I've given up. I've given up with these people who think basketball's played with a stick.
What does LeBron play?
That takes place tomorrow, and that will happen live tomorrow, right after the matches conclude. So it's something you're going to want to make sure you tune in for as well.
That's going to be high when they eventually pick New York.
Imagine if they do.
That would be incredible, though. The hype. You'd have an LA versus LA match, and then you'd have Boston versus New York just to kick it all off. It would actually be ridiculous.
Or they could take the sensible route and pick the 4th.
No.
This is why Brent will
way.
never be a coach, ladies and gentlemen. He'll just say, go to the top immediately. Anyway, so that's going to do it for us here. And we've actually have some awesome Twitch All Access stuff going on for the Twitch All Access Pass. Stick around right now for an AMA with the man, the myth, the legend, the player of the match known as Profit. Thank you guys so much. It's been a pleasure to be here once again, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.